humbly beseech thee to look with favor on this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and their good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, let's turn to item numbered 5. Vote and proceedings of Tuesday, 17th February 2026. For correction, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, page 14, and 15. Honourable members, in the absence of any corrections, the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 17th February 2026 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. We have 2 official reports. Official reports of 10th and 11th February 2026. Let's first correct the official report of 10th February 2026. Honourable members, any correction? Yes, Honourable Frank Afriye.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Speaker, may I invite you to column 26, the first paragraph, line 2. The description offered the Minister for Food and Agriculture here, I think the title, Doctor, should be deleted. Dr. Eric Opoku. Thank you.
Why are you asking the doctor to be deleted?
Speaker, we respect, the House recognizes merit, and then I'm not sure the Minister has informed the clerks at table that he has done his PhD.
But you are not the clerk at table. How will you know whether the Minister has informed or not?
Indeed, Speaker, if you walk with me to the paragraph before, it's been described as some of the places as Mr. and that one as Doctor, so for internal coherence.
Table office, be consistent.
Thank you.
Yes, any further correction? Our members, in the absence of any correction, the official reports of 10 February 2026 is adopted as the true record of proceedings. Now let's turn to official report of 11 February 2026. Yes, Honourable Frank Afriye.
Speaker, just a harmless one. Column 11, the very last paragraph. The description offered the respected member for Tolong here, I think, should be corrected. Deputy Minority Chief Whip is rather the first Deputy Minority Whip. Thank you.
Table office, take note and do the needful. Is that my friend that I caused a problem to? We'll come to that. Any further corrections? Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the official reports of 11 February 2026 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Yes. Majority Leader, Azeplema Agbomama Vilpam. To eat your heart and your fugu is very nice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, what language was that?
It's your language. Yes, Majority Leader, we've taken the votes and proceedings and official reports. Do we move to urgent questions?
Speaker, yes, the indication is that we'll zoom straight into the questions. So items numbers 6 and 7.
Honourable members, following the questions scheduled for the Minister responsible for roads and highways, he is dutifully seated in the House. May I ask him to take the designated seat whilst I call on Honourable Frank Afriye, Member of Parliament for Afajato South, to pose the urgent question. Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Speaker, I'm so grateful. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways, what is the outcome of government's value for money audits ordered in 2017 and the current status of Cocoa Road projects in the country? Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Cocoa Road Improvement Project, CRIP, was launched in 2014 to provide improved road access in cocoa growing communities to help farmers move their produce more easily, also to reduce smuggling, lower transport costs, and connect rural communities to schools, health facilities, and markets. The program covered feeder, trunk, and urban roads with funding sources directly from the Cocoa Board. Over time, there were significant challenges in the implementation of the program, with the result that most of all projects under the program from 2014 to 2015 and 2019 onward had gone beyond their contracted deadlines, with many contractors having abandoned sites and deterioration of some of these uncompleted road projects. Funding shortfalls at Cocoa Board resulted in delayed payment, leading to mounting arrears. In light of the challenges encountered, the government requested an audit review and restructuring of the Cocoa Road project. An interim report was subsequently issued. The impact of the 2017 suspension. The suspension of the Cocoa Road project in 2017 resulted in significant negative consequences economically, socially, and for every farmer. The program was intended to, what the program was intended to do was not achieved. Mr. Speaker, amongst the negative effects of the suspension of the program include severe disruption to construction activities, deterioration of road infrastructure, disruption of cocoa value chain, and farmer livelihood. Economic and social strains and social strains on communities, loss of contractor confidence, and higher future costs. This has translated into higher bid prices, tightening competitiveness, and greater fiscal cost in subsequent award rounds. Conclusion. Given the challenges, government has taken a strategic policy decision to cede responsibility for all ongoing Cocoa Road project from Cocoa Board to the Ministry of Road and Highways and the agencies, especially highways and feeder roads. Discussions are ongoing to conclude the process. Mr. Speaker, further to that, government has directed that the relevant agencies take steps to review the entire Cocoa Road program and present a report to government for action. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I thank the Minister for the answers. However, as many as 266 contracts were awarded within the period we are talking about. I would like to find out from the Minister how many of such roles were completed, if any. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, according to the record, the bulk of the Cocoa Road projects were never completed, simply because Cocoa Road project for investigation. And unfortunately, by the time the investigation was concluded, many of those projects further deteriorated, leading to all the negative impact I listed below. So I don't have the exact number of those which were completed. The majority of them were never completed fully, leading to the problem we have currently.
Yes, Honourable Member. Any further supplementary question?
Speaker, just to thank the Minister and to seek clarity, to the extent that I'm aware, he says that some of these roles have been...
Supplementary question.
Yes, that's what I'm developing, Speaker, with respect. I would like to find out how many of those roles have been reprofiled under the Big Push, the government program for Big Push. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, since the Big Push is, the first phase is mainly focused on the trunk roads, many of the trunk road projects which were part of the original Cocoa Road project have been programmed. For instance, the section from Have to Hokwe through Jasikan, and then the one from Basa through Otidamanko are all part of Cocoa Road Big Push project now, and contractors are on site for completion. The other ones that I don't have all the full details. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Member, your last supplementary question, if any.
Speaker, I have none except to thank the Minister and the government for the spirit of continuity. Thank you so much.
Yes, Honourable Richard Achampong.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity. I would like to ask the Minister, a double chrome to Nkrankwanta, which is 21 kilometers, Kwasari chrome to Atankuna, another 20 kilometers, were part of the Cocoa Roads, which were abandoned by the previous administration. Earthwork were done, excavation and all that, but they abandoned the project, and all of that deteriorated.
What is your question?
So the question is, do you have any program to make sure that double crop to Nkrankwanta Road is fixed and Kwasari to Atankuna 2 is fixed?
Honourable member kindly ask a specific question.
Mr. Speaker, my question is simple. Those roads were part of the cocoa roads contract that were awarded, and they were abandoned.
The
So I
question
want to find out from the minister.
The question on the floor is to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways, what is the outcome of government's value for money audit ordered in 2017 and the current status of cocoa projects in the country? So,
Speaker, let me rephrase the question.
if you are asking of a specific road, that should be a specific question for the minister to prepare to come and answer.
Mr. Speaker, a double chrome to Nkrankwanta contract feeds into the cocoa roads project. It was part of the abandoned project. So we need to get to know the status of it and the program for that road.
Well, if you are asking of the status and the program for that road, Minister, you may answer.
Mr. Speaker, indeed, we are all aware, all the liabilities on the awarded projects have been transferred to Ministry of Roads and Highways. As has been reported, in 2023 and 2024 alone, almost 23 billion cedis worth of cocoa road projects were awarded. And what we are doing now is to gradually reprogram all those into one program of road intervention or the other. So the road he's mentioned is one of those that will be reprogrammed for completion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Any further question? Yes, Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to know how much government spent so far in those abandoned road projects, and what was the cost of the audit for auditing the abandoned cocoa roads?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't have the figure, but once upon a time, I was the one asking that question to the former Greek minister, Honorable Afriye, and he never gave the answer. So at the moment, I don't know how much it costs to do the audit, but all I know is that the entire cocoa road program has been so badly handled that I consider that as one of the bases of the problems Cocoa Board is having right now. From 2017, if you award in 2023 alone, 2023-24, 23 billion cedis worth of cocoa project, that is more than all the syndication you can even ever get in a year. It means Cocoa Board lost focus. They were not concentrating on cocoa production. They were focused on procurement, and that is why President Mahama directed that no more Cocoa Board indulging in cocoa road, rather focus on cocoa production and marketing so that our farmers will get the best value for their labor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Our members, let's move to question number 550, standing in the name of Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa, Member of Parliament for Esikado. Keep time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister of Roads and Highway the immediate and long-term interventions being taken to rehabilitate the Kojokrom to Nkrofo Junction stretch of the Accra-Elubu Road.
Yes, Honorable Minister. Sorry, I skipped question number 617. We'll come back to that.
Mr. Speaker, the Kojokrom to Nkrofo Junction Road is a strategic corridor along the National Route 1 within the Western region that serves Sekondi Takoradi Metropolis. Current program. The road has been awarded under the contract title Dualization of Cape Coast Takoradi, kilometer 164 to 187.6 kilometers, lot 6. The contract commenced on the 1st of December 2025 for completion by 1st of December 2027. The rehabilitation of the Kojokrom to Nkrofo Junction stretch of the Accra-Elubu Road is part of the dualization of the Cape Coast Takoradi Road under the Big Push program. The contractor is currently on site, engaging in initial works such as maintenance of deteriorated road sections, removal of temporary structures along the right-of-way, and earthworks. The physical completion of the work is currently 4%.
Any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask if the minister has any timelines. Thank you.
Minister, the question is timeline.
Mr. Speaker, in my answer, I said the projected completion date is the 1st of December 2027, and we have every reason to believe we will be completed, that project will be completed by then. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any further supplementary? Honourable member, this is a constituency-specific question. Let's come back to question number 617, standing in the name of Honourable Mohammed Adamu Ramadan.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I have the permission to ask on behalf of the MP for Adenta, Honorable Abu Ramadan, and it's to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways.
No. Do you have his authority or permission?
Authority.
Very well. The standing orders makes reference to authority.
Mr. Speaker, to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the following roads will be completed in view of the fact that the contractors have left the sites. 1, Lotto Kiosk to Hotel Junction, and then 2, Roman Junction to New Legon. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Adentan municipality is located in the Greater Accra region. The current program on the road mentioned, the Lotto Kiosk to Hotel Junction and Roman Junction to New Legon Road are being rehabilitated under the contract titled Rehabilitation of Power Lands, SDA, Intre Avenue, and Commandos Area Road, 3.9 kilometers. The contract was awarded on the 13th of September 2024. Works commenced on the 14th of October 2024 for completion by 13th of October 2026. The contractor has completed 6 kilometers of drainage works and 2.8 kilometers of roadways. Rehabilitated the bituminous surfacing level. Physical progress is currently 48%. The contractor is currently not on site, and efforts are being made to get the contractor back to site to complete the outstanding work. The Lotto Kiosks to New Legon Road have both been clarified at the west sections with limited reshaping to improve riding comfort in the interim, whilst reconstruction of the roadside and outfall drains are constructed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any supplementary question?
No, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, let me give the floor to Honorable Alassane Umar, Member of Parliament for Zabzugu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the abandoned bridge between Kuntumbi and Ogbunja will be re-awarded to a new contractor.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the proposed bridge is located on the Zabzugu, Kunta, Biyili, Ogunja, Sangba feeder road at Chenage 13+100 in the Zabzugu district of the Northern Region. The road is an inter-district linking road linking Zabzugu enclave to Tatali district. Current program, the road has been awarded under the contract titled Rehabilitation of Zabzugu, Kutin, Biyeli, Kupalgu Junction, and the Sangba feeder roads to be executed within 3 phases. Phase 3 of the contract spanning Chenage 13 to 25+800 and within which the proposed bridge falls, has subsequently been rescoped to accommodate the construction of the structure along the project road. The hydraulic designs and cost estimate for the proposed crossing have been completed for works to commence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable member, any supplementary question?
Thank you.
Honourable member, this is also a constituency-specific question. Let's move to question number 565, standing in the name of Akwesi Konedo, Member of Parliament for Menchia North.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when construction works will resume on the following roads: Brookroom Junction to Abasi, Dotte Inner Town roads, and Biasi New Site roads. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister, your answer, but we've skipped 3634. We'll come back to it.
Mr. Speaker, these roads are in Menchia North in the Ashanti region. Current program. The Department of Urban Road awarded the contract titled Rehabilitation of Selected Roads in Menchia North, 7.7 kilometers in Kumasi, to rehabilitate some roads, including the 1.2 kilometer Brookroom Junction to Abasi Road within Menchia North. The project commenced on the 15th of November 2024 for completion by 14th of November 2026. The contractor has currently constructed a total of 1.59 kilometers of U-drains within the Brookroom area and yet to commence works at Dotte. The contractor vacated site but is currently back on site. Works are ongoing. With regards to Duase New Site Road, there's currently no program on this. Engineering studies and cost estimate for the 6.8 kilometers of road within Duase have been prepared for consideration subject to availability of funds. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member, any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me thank the road minister. Yes, indeed, for Brookroom, construction work has begun about 2 weeks ago. But however, for Duase, you said there is no current program on the road, although engineering works and cost has been done. And looking at the current road programs that we do have, all being put under the big push, that enclave forms part of the total Prempeh the First International Airport area. And looking at how
honourable member, your supplementary question.
Can the Duase new roads, can the Duase town roads be included under that, looking at the proximity and the importance of that road towards the Prempeh the First International Airport?
Yes, honourable minister, can the Bibiani town roads be included?
Mr. Speaker, government takes comprehensive view at all the road network, especially around Kumasi, especially in and around the airport. And efforts are being made to reconfigure the entire road network from the airport through Swami interchange all the way to link the abandoned roads that we find. So in about a month, the comprehensive study would be completed. Some of the projects are ongoing, including resumption of work, a loan agreement for which the road was, the interchange was $750 million under the Afri-Exim, and then allocated a certain amount to start the Echiamanfo Bridge. But because the Swami interchange project had already started, we stopped to complete the project. And then further to that, the contractor's certificate of $23 million was also outstanding. The finance minister has processed that, is in the process of paying that. Once that is paid, the contractor will be back fully on site to complete the scope that is within the big push, which is what the project is currently to be completed. And all these related roads are going to be considered in the second phase of the work we are doing currently.
Any further supplementary?
No, Mr. Speaker, just to thank the minister that will be counting on the 1 month re-engineering that he ought to do so that we can do a follow-up and know when these roads can be resumed. Thank you.
North will be constructed.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the proposed bridge over Ankobra River links Jura areas in the Nzima East municipality of Wasa North district of the Western region. There is currently no program on this bridge. Engineering studies for the proposed bridge over Ankobra River will be considered in the next bridge program of the ministry upon availability of funds.
Yes, that's the answer. Any supplementary?
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to ask the Minister for Roads, looking at how crucial this bridge is, as I mentioned, it links the Nzima area, the Wasa area, from people moving to the Takwa area all the way to Elimu.
Please, supplementary question.
Yes. So, a roads minister with the assurance that this bridge may be considered in the future ones. I wish to ask if he can give assurance as my people continue to watch this program.
Honorable Minister, any assurance?
Mr. Speaker, we consider this bridge a very important bridge as well, and many other programs in the Western region. Mr. Speaker, it's not for anything that President Mahama directed that the outstanding bill of $78 million owed the contractor working from Takwa be paid. And for that reason, the contractor is back to site and will complete, and many other projects that are ongoing. This bridge forms part of a strategic bridge in the area my colleague talked about, and we are working tirelessly to make sure we make the necessary arrangement for the bridge project to start as soon as possible, Mr. Speaker.
Any further supplementary?
Right, Honorable Speaker, is just to thank the Roads Minister for his refreshing words. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, consensus specific question. Let's move to question number 566, standing in the name of Ohene Kwame Frimpong, Member of Parliament for Asante Achim North. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I would like to ask the Honorable Minister for Road, the Abrewapong Road.
Order paper, page 4.
Very well, Right Honorable Speaker. I'd like to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the immediate plans to construct the following roads, which connect most farming communities within the Asante Achim North municipalities. That is the Abrewapong Road, Widiam to Yeji Asenchem Road, Ananikrom to Inshiaesu Road, and Ninsua to Domiabra Road. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, all the roads mentioned by my colleague are within the Asante Achim North municipality and the district capital being Agogo. And then the link, it's a link to communities in Eastern region. Mr. Speaker, with the first one, Abrewapong Road, it is a 15-kilometer engineered road in poor surface condition. Currently, there are no planned activities on this road. Future program is engineering design studies and cost estimate will be carried out on the road for consideration upon availability of funds. The second one being Chidiem to Yeji, Asichem Road, is also within the Asante Achim North municipality. Currently, no programmed activities. Similarly, engineering design studies will be, and cost estimate will be carried out shortly. And then the third one being Ananikrom to Inshiaesu Road, also in the same district. Currently, no program on this road. Similarly, Aniswa to Domiabra Road. Mr. Speaker, also no activity on it. And engineering design studies will be carried out, and the project will be carried out with availability of funds.
Yes, any supplementary question?
No other supplementary question. Thank you very much.
This is also constituency specific. We move to question numbered 579. Standing in the name of Bright Asamoah Brefo. Bibiani Amiaso Bakwai.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the plans the ministry has for the construction of the 3.5-kilometer Bibiani bypass, which starts from Mill Junction and ends at Motor Junction.
Yes, Honorable Minister. Honourable Member, put your microphone off.
Mr. Speaker, there's currently no program on the road mentioned by my colleague, but the plan is for engineering studies and cost estimates to be prepared for the construction of the bypass to reduce congestion on the main road for consideration subject to availability of funds.
Any supplementary question?
Right, Honorable Speaker, this bypass is needed for the sole reason of easing traffic congestion.
Member, the supplementary question is not about whether it is needed or not needed.
Yes,
Ask
I
supplementary
just want to
question.
ask the minister whether he can, because he's saying that there's no funds, if he can replace it with traffic lights, I think it will serve the same purpose.
I intend not to allow the Honourable Minister to ask that question. Do you have any further supplementary question?
No, we are praying that
Thank you very much. We'll move to question number 661. Standing in the name of Ida Ajoa Asedu, Ayensuano, Member of Parliament. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways,
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the broken culvert connects the inhabitants of Akorabo, Amanase, and its environs to the Amanase market. It is located in the Ayenswano district of the Eastern region. Currently, there are no programs scheduled for this road. Future program is an engineering studies and cost estimate have been carried out for a proposed structure subject to the availability of funds.
Yes, Honourable Minister, any supplementary question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For now, I have no any supplementary question.
Thank you very much. Question number 581, standing in the name of Francis Asenso Boachi, Member of Parliament for Bantaman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 92 and seek your leave to step down that question because the Member of Parliament explains that time lapse has improved on the conditions of that trip.
Very well.
Thank you.
Question accordingly withdrawn by the leave of the Speaker and the leave of the House. We then move to question number 582. Standing in the name of Kwame Anyimedu Entry, Member of Parliament for Ashanti Akim Central.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 88.3 to ask your permission to ask the question on behalf of the Member of Parliament for Ashanti Akim Central. I have his authority to ask the question.
I'm ready to grant leave, but not permission.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I accordingly seek your leave.
Very well.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Minister for Road and Highways when the trenches beside the main road at Konongo to Kumasi Road would be covered to guarantee safety of passengers? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
An answer for Honorable Asenso Boachi, but he decided to not ask the question. I hope this settles
Honorable
the issue.
Minister,
I hope this
once the
settles
question
the
is
issue
withdrawn,
about the Kumasi,
the
Accra
answer
Kumasi
is for
Expressway.
you. Once the question is withdrawn, the answer is for you.
But I prepared the answer, so I would have wished to read the answer for the public. But
the rules,
in your direction, I'll put the answer.
The answer is for you.
I'll put the answer in his pigeonhole.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, the background. The Konongo Kumasi stretch is a key segment of the N6, National Route 6, Accra Kumasi Trunk Road, carrying heavy national and interregional passenger and freight traffic. The road embankment washed out was brought to the attention of the supervision team during the rehabilitation of the Apedra Ejisu Road, Lot 1, rehabilitation of Ejisu Konongo Dadieso plan for this section of the road. Engineering studies and cost estimate are being carried out currently on the road for consideration subject to availability of funds. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, respectfully note.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister for Roads and Highways, thank you very, very much for attending upon the House to respond to the questions. You are hereby accordingly discharged. Honourable members, the Honourable Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs is scheduled to also respond to some questions. May I humbly ask him to take the designated seat as I call on Honourable Dr. Abel Tete Nyakote, Member of Parliament for Ilo Krobo, to ask the question numbered 199. The Honourable Member is not in. I will therefore call on the Minister or call on the clerks to transmit the answer as published in the answer to him. We move to question number 313, standing in the name of Professor Kinsley Nyako, Member of Parliament for Kwadaso. Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Honourable Yarega, good afternoon. Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs the total number of churches in the country and the number of them that are registered. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the PNDC Law 221, 1989, the Religious Bodies Registration Law, required churches and religious groups to register with the state. It was controversial but set the foundation for regulating religious institutions. The Religious Bodies Registration Law 1989, PNDC Law 221, was intended to regulate the establishment of churches and religious bodies in Ghana. The key provisions of the law were as follows. No person could establish a religious body without provisional approval from the Religious Affairs Committee. Provisional approval lasted up to 3 months and could be renewed subject to conditions. Religious bodies had to register with the Ministry of Interior and to be recognized. This caused controversy with many churches opposing the law, arguing that it infringed on freedom of religion and gave the government excessive control over religious practice. Mr. Speaker, today churches are registered as companies limited by guarantee with the Registrar General Department, and this gives them legal recognition, the ability to own property and protection under Ghanaian law. However, the Registrar General Department does not publish a single definite number for all churches registered. Regional data and surveys show that thousands of churches are in the country, including about 2,200 churches registered in Greater Accra alone as of 2025, with 98.1% being single-owner operations and the rest affiliated to larger brands of churches. Extrapolating this one nationwide, it certainly states that several thousands of churches are in the country, but not officially consolidated. Mr. Speaker, instead of registration count, the Ghana Statistical Service monitors and tracks religious affiliations of the population. The 2021 population and housing census indicate that there are about 71.2% of Ghanaians who identify themselves as Christians, and this spread across Catholic, Protestant church presence. That's about 31.6% are Pentecostal or Charismatic, 18.4% are Protestants, 10% of the population are Catholics, and 11.2% belonging to the other Christian denominations. Mr. Speaker, to ensure the provision of accurate data on churches in the near future, the ministry will establish the following. 1, a formal collaboration with the Registrar General Department and the Office of the Attorney General and the Ministry of Justice to create a data sharing agreement with the Registrar General Department for assessing records of churches registered as companies limited by guarantee. Within the local governance structure, the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies will maintain local registers of churches operating within their jurisdictional areas. And finally, we will consider the development of a digital registry system that will serve as a centralized platform for churches to update their operational status. This system will be linked to the Registrar General Department system for verification. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes. Any supplementary?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to highly commend the Honorable Minister for this comprehensive responses to this very important and relevant question. Looking at your plans to ensure that we have a database and also the digital registry, I want to find out from you, when do you intend starting these important interventions to get the accurate number of churches in the country? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, as I stated, earlier when the PNDC law was enacted, it was controversial because religious bodies felt that there was going to be government interference in them. But now looking at this question, it has become important that we are able to identify and know the number of churches in the country. And looking at where the question is coming from, it tells us that the collective wisdom of this People's Representative August House is that we must and we should know the number of churches that we have in the country. That being the case, Mr. Speaker, I will have to engage on three things. The Interior Ministry has a role to play, and the Attorney General has a role to play. In that regard, if I stand here today and say by June, it is not that I'm going to consult with colleague ministers. Their availability is also part of the question. So I'll plead with my honorable colleague that fine, it's better we begin this year, but to give a definite date that by June or by October we will be concluding with this. Digital registration.
Any further supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank him for the answers, and I'm done. Waiting for the one on the mosque. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Vincent Akwa Asafwa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the Minister for Local Government for embracing digitalization. And in instances like this, one of the challenges that you are going to face is the issue of compliance. Compliance. How are you going to enforce compliance with respect to the churches in terms of the registration on the digital system? Compliance is going to be an issue. How are you going to enforce compliance? Thank you.
Honorable Member, I think the Minister has answered the question, raising an issue about the difficulty complying with the PNDC law on the fact that the churches came together to say that the Constitution guarantees freedom of religion. Therefore, compliance with the law will give government control over the churches. That has clearly been stated by the Minister. So if you have another question, you may do so.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the guidance. But I was very specific. I was very specific in the sense that in terms of digital registration, there is going to be an issue with respect to compliance. I am not talking about compliance in generality. As part of his third strategy, he said that he is going to ensure that the churches are going to register by way of digital registration. And I am asking him a specific question. When it comes to the digital registration...
Once you are asking a specific question, file a specific question.
It is flowing from his answer.
Honourable members, the question is very clear. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask of the Minister for Local Governance if it is not possible to help us establish the numbers, if it is not possible to engage the municipal district assemblies to conduct a manual check on these figures. Thank you very much.
Right, Honourable Minister, I think this is a suggestion for you that you should contact the MMDCs to help with the registration of the numbers.
Mr. Speaker, I think you cannot just flatly say a suggestion. We want the assurance of the minister to tell us if it is possible or not.
So, Minister, come and tell us whether it is possible or not possible. Microphone is on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in fact, it is in an answer that metropolis within their jurisdictional areas. And I think the Honorable Deputy Minority Leader his suggestion or question, if not rhetorical, is in confirmation of the answer I gave, that the MMDAs have a role to play. And Mr. Speaker, if you go to every metropolitan, municipal, or district assembly, we have an association
Why are you answering complex?
Churches. So, taking registry of the churches within the area, we could fall on the association of churches, and it will be easier to be done. So, Mr. Speaker, that will be done, and it is possible. I know that is what you wanted me to say, and I've said it.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the minister's response indicates a sidestep of the PNDC law for the Companies Act, under which the churches are registered now. The PNDC law, I know, is not repealed. Does it mean that the churches are in violation? Does it mean the churches are in violation of this PNDC law, and what are the sanctions?
One member would disallow the question trying to convert the minister into a judge. Ask another question.
Mr. Speaker, I don't have any other questions.
Very well. Let's move to question number 675, standing in the name of Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rollins. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I have a permission to ask the question on her behalf.
I'm not supposed to grant permission.
I have the authority.
Very well, if you have the authority, go ahead and ask the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs when the Novotel market will be rebuilt.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, following the fire outbreak that ravaged the Odona market on 20th November 2020, the ministry received from the Klote-Kole Municipal Assembly through the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council for consideration and onward submission to the Ministry of Finance, a proposal from BNAB Company Limited for reconstruction of the market. In our quest to create an enabling environment to facilitate trade and local economic development at the local level, the ministry aims to facilitate the development of the various markets within the MMDAs into modern markets and retail infrastructure to enhance domestic trading and revenue mobilization. In view of the above, Mr. Speaker, the proposal was forwarded to the Minister of Finance for consideration and further action. Currently, the project has been registered with the Project Identification Unit of the Ministry of Finance with Project Preparation Identification Number 222-122-0001. The Assembly, through the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council and the Ministry, is currently working with the prospective investor, and that is BNAB, supported by the Ministry of Finance and the Office of the Attorney General, to complete the public-private partnership arrangement on build, operate, and transfer BOT basis. A pre-feasibility study has been carried out on the project, and the report submitted to the Ministry of Finance. Consequently, the draft BOT concessional agreement has also been reviewed and approved by the Office of the Attorney General and forwarded to the Ministry of Finance for further action. Mr. Speaker, the project duration will be 36 months, which is expected to commence immediately an approval is granted by the Ministry of Finance. The construction stage of the project will be on phase basis and will have a controlled relocation of the traders at an undeveloped part of the project site. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Any supplementary?
Mr. Speaker, I think he has satisfied all questions that I will ask again. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to question number 6364, standing in the name of Kwame Apia Kodia Fantiakwano.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
I have his authorization to ask.
Please ask.
So, to action the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, the measures implemented for the final completion of the Begro Central Market.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Begro Central Market project is a two-story, 36-unit lockable unit stores awarded at a contract sum of 1,425,000 Ghana cedis and funded under the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program by the then Middle Belt Development Authority. The project is being executed by Mrs. BBB Limited. Information available to me indicate that the project is at 60% completion, fiscal completion rate. Payment to date stands at 866,957 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the project is among the legacy projects inherited by the Minister of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, following the realignment by His Excellency the President of the Republic in January 2025. Accordingly, the Ministry has initiated the process to take nationwide inventory of all such ongoing projects for completion by various metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. Thank you.
Any supplementary question?
Yeah. Mr. Minister, so what are the timelines for the completion of this project that's dear to the people of Begro?
Yes, Honorable Minister, any timeline?
Mr. Speaker, we have about 2,833 of such uncompleted projects. And therefore, once I said the assemblies will have to embark upon the legacy project. And that is why in the approval of the formula, we said 20% of the DECF should be allocated for legacy project. So I may not be able to give a definite timeline on behalf of the assembly, but I think they will prioritize among the legacy projects within their jurisdictional areas and prioritize how best they can complete them. That is it. But Mr. Speaker, there is no budget in the ministry's budget.
Yes, any supplementary question?
I'm grateful.
I remember this is constituency specific, but before we move on to another question, let me crave your indulgence to announce the presence of our student visitors and other visitors in our midst. We have Pung Okpukli Youth Association led by Joshua Tete, Vice Chairman. They are from Pung Kantamanso, the number 16. We also have Keys Vision Academy led by Samuel Opong, Primary Head of Department. They are from Trobu constituency, the number 62. Then we have Family Care School led by Bosun Sena, NCC Director. They are from Efutu, the number 50. We also have Unipra South, also led by Bosun Sena. They also from Efutu, they also numbered 50. Then we have Crystal Gates International School, led by Mr. Enes Apreku, Principal Academics. They are from Adentan constituency, they numbered 66. Then we have in our midst Christine Akwete, Winifred King, Philomena Nana Ousu, Stephanie Amu, Gloria Amu. They are Ghanaian residents in Belgium, Brussels, and they are here on a visit to Parliament of Ghana. I urge all of you to have a fruitful visit to Parliament. We then move to question number 365, standing in the name of Maswal Kwame Lukuto, Member of Parliament for South Thong.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs the plans of the ministry to upgrade the assemblies which were conferred with municipal and metropolitan status in 2024, and when the legislative instrument will be passed for the assemblies to be inaugurated. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the ministry received numerous petitions between 2020 and 2024 requesting the upgrade of some districts and municipalities to municipal and metropolitan status, respectively. Following extensive consultation and technical assessment, executive approval was granted by the former president in December 2024, which was widely published. But this could not be laid in Parliament due to transitional processes and other administrative issues. Following the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections, thus the legislative elections, that the legislative instrument LIs to complete the process of upgrading these districts and municipalities as per Section 3.1 of the Local Governance Act 2016, Act 936, could not be laid in Parliament for consideration and passage. Mr. Speaker, as part of effort to assess districts to ascertain their feasibility of being upgraded as pledged in the Resetting Ghana Agenda Manifesto of the NDC government, I have constituted a committee to conduct assessment of all the previous districts and municipalities, as well as those captured in our manifesto, and to make appropriate recommendation for consideration and approval in line with the 1992 Constitution and Act 936. I wish to inform this August House that the committee started its work in December 2025, and I'm reliably informed that the report will be submitted to me by end of this month for consideration and further action in consonance with laid down procedures. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
No further questions, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Very well. We move to question number 395, standing in the name of Daniel Dang Mahama, Member of Parliament for Talensi. You have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I rise under Order 88-3 with permission from the
I don't grant permission.
Seeking your leave. Authority. I have the authority.
Honourable Member, are you sure you have the authority of the member to ask the question on his behalf?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs when the Upper East region will receive the Toyota Hilux that were distributed to the other regions in 2024.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Office of the President, through the Office of the District Assembly's Common Fund, procured and distributed 169 Toyota Hilux Pickup vehicle for some selected metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies in September 2024 to facilitate their work at the district level. Upon my assumption of office, I requested the DACF to furnish me with a document on all the unregistered vehicles distributed to enable me to ascertain the beneficiary MMDAs and those outstanding. I'm yet to understand the criteria and the idea behind the selection of the beneficiary regions or districts around that period. But it is established that among the outstanding MMDAs are those in Volta region, Upper East region, Central region, and Western regions. Additionally, 24 out of the 29 MMDAs in the Greater Accra region also did not benefit. Mr. Speaker, currently, the Ministry has received resolution from some affected MMDAs through their respective regional deans, including the Upper East region, on the subject matter. The Ministry is considering the request in collaboration with the Office of the DACF and the Chief of Staff on the possible way forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Any supplementary question?
No supplementary question, but to thank the Minister for the answers.
Member, this is constituency specific. Let's move to question number 526, standing in the name of Martin Ajay Mensah Kosa, Member of Parliament for Techiman South.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Honourable Minister whether reports on drip machines being used at Galamsey sites within some assemblies has come to his notice, and what is being done to ensure accountability in the use of these equipment within the assemblies. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as you may be aware, the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs was not involved in the procurement of the heavy-duty earth-moving equipment meant under the District Road Improvement Project, DRIP. For the records, the said equipment was procured by the Office of the President, Jubilee House, Accra, in a contract signed by the then Chief of Staff with funding from the District Assembly Common Fund. The Ministry of Local Government only facilitated and participated in the commissioning of the equipment by His Excellency the former President on Wednesday, 31st July 2024 at the Independence Square. On man assumption of office and subsequent realignment of the operations of the DRIP and highways to be funded by the Road Maintenance Trust Fund instead of the District Assembly Common Fund as was originally designed. Mr. Speaker, this new arrangement redirected all reports on the operations of the project at the Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Assemblies and the Regional Coordinating Councils to the Office of the National Coordinator of DRIP, without recourse to the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs. On the basis of the above development, I am not reliably informed and cannot attest to the allegation being made by my respected honorable colleague. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, any supplementary?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that the realignment program that the minister talks about has now positioned it under the Roads Ministry, I'm sure the minister may not be ready to take it now. So I would refile it so I can do the subsequent questions, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Question numbered 436, standing in the name of Duke Williams, Ellen Kwame Amokwata Oforiata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs what steps are being implemented to ensure the timely completion of the 618 infrastructure projects and 60 markets under the Gulf of Guinea Social Cohesion SOCO project.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, following the insertion of the 2024 implementation cycle of SOCO project, progress has been steady. However, progress slowed in June 2025 due to funding constraints. Despite these challenges, I'm pleased to report that 298 out of the 618 infrastructure projects and 28 out of the 60 market facilitated have been completed. The remaining projects are at advanced stages of completion. Mr. Speaker, to ensure the timely delivery of all remaining sub-projects, the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs has instituted the following measures. 1, intensified monitoring and evaluation. Tracking mechanisms have been intensified to monitor progress across all districts. These systems help to identify delays and bottlenecks early, allowing for swift corrective action. 2, accelerated financial disbursement to MMDEs. The ministry disbursed 143 million to all 48 metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies on 25th March 2025, and an additional 29,949,000 to 25 MMDAs on 9th September 2025 to service interim payment certificates and facilitate ongoing works. 3, stakeholder engagement and assurance. The ministry actively engaged contractors and supervisors from all project zones on 5th and 6th August 2025 to assure them of the reliability of payment and the ministry's commitment to timely project delivery. This has helped restore confidence and momentum in the field. Orientation for local government implementation has all 48 metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives and metropolitan, municipal, and district coordinating directors from 17th to 23rd August 2025 in the project implementation districts have been engaged and orientated on the expectations for the project delivery. These sessions provided a platform to clarify concern and strengthen local oversight and accountability. Then finally, anticipated and additional funding requirement. Mr. Speaker, the ministry has assured the ministry has been assured by the Minister of Finance of a subsequent drawdown of 61,250,000 by the end of the year 2026 to continue servicing interim payment certificates. However, to ensure full implementation of all remaining projects and full completion of all the projects, an additional 170 million Ghana cedis will be required. Right, Honorable Speaker, the ministry remains resolute in its commitment to delivering the SOCO projects in full, and we are working diligently with all stakeholders to ensure that the infrastructure and market facilities are completed to the standard on time through inclusive development across the northern regions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I asked the Minister, what timelines do we have for completion of this project since the 2026 budget captures the funding for the project?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, funding got slowed and progress also got slowed, but I've received assurance from the Minister for Finance that there will be timely delivery of the fund this year. So I hope that that assurance will be complied with. When that is done, the project will be completed on time. Without that, you know my challenges.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr.
Members, let's move to question number 438. Yes.
Respectfully, I have a supplementary question to
Please ask.
the answer that the minister just gave. Mr. Minister, I'm very much aware, you may guide me if I'm wrong, with respect to SOCO. I believe that before contract for the completion of the project, especially when funding is a requirement before contracts are awarded. Can you explain that to the House, respectfully?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, what my honourable colleague is saying is right. The SOCO project is a 5-year program, and it will be ending in 2027. The challenge, Mr. Speaker, is that the administrative cost was overspent. What was meant to be spent in 5 years was almost exhausted in 3 years. And therefore, the World Bank came for us to do further discussions. And that is why I said we may need an additional funding, which I've received assurance from the Minister for Finance.
Let's move to question number 438, standing in the name of Charles Uredu, Member of Parliament for Ibrim.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs to provide an update on the elevation of the Ibrim North District Assembly to a municipal status by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on the 7th November 2024. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the The Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs received several petitions between 2020 and 2024 demanding for the upgrading of their districts and municipalities. The recommendations submitted to the Office of the President for approval were all upheld as per the 2024 gazetted executive instruments. Specifically, Executive Instrument EI 551 of 2024 was granted, upgrading the Bryn North District Assembly to a municipal status. However, the corresponding bill for the legislative instrument to complete the process of upgrading as required under Section 3.1 of the Local Governance Act 2016 at 936, as amended, could not be laid in Parliament due to transitional processes following the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. The Ministry is taking steps to facilitate the passage of the outstanding legislative instrument to complete the process as earlier indicated. Thank you.
Yes. Any further question?
Mr. Speaker, since it's already been a year, I would want to find out from the Minister whether he has any timelines for the implementation of this, of the upgrading
Minister,
of
do you have any
my
timeline?
district to a municipal
You have the
status.
floor. Minister, you have the floor. Any timeline?
Mr. Speaker, my colleagues should have confidence in me. As I said, a committee has been constituted. We are finalizing all the process. I will receive the report so that we will bring the entirety of the thing before this House. It will be in your court for consideration and approval.
Yes. Any further questions?
Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, the issue of confidence doesn't come in here because the people of Birmingham North are eager. You know, this thing or this issue has been on the table since
Honorable Member, I don't think you have
so
a supplementary
please
question.
Give us a clear
Kindly
timeline.
resume your seat. Honorable Minister, I thank you sincerely for attending upon the House to respond to your questions. You are accordingly discharged.
To item 8, today's order paper numbered 6. Statements.
Honourable members, question time is ended. We move to item numbered 8 to take statement. Honourable members, in view of the fact that we have 10 statements, what do we do?
Mr. Speaker, we'll take the report from the Energy Committee, but the Minister is not in, so we'll take up to D. So that when the Minister comes,
Taking in respect of the number of people who will be contributing to the statement.
Mr. Speaker, we can limit ourselves to 2-2.
Is that the agreement of the House?
Mr. Speaker, I thought the understanding was to continue with the legal aid.
Yes. That was the understanding at the conclave, so
Yes.
I don't know why the whip is talking
I
about.
don't understand
Mr. Speaker, exactly so, but the chairman for the committee and the minister, they are not in. So,
What of the vice chairman of the committee?
the guy, education. Who? Where shall we?
But we'll take motion number 25.
Honorable member, the chairman of the committee is in.
Yes, yes. Speaker.
Honorable members, by the agreement of the House, we take item number 21, Legal Education Reform Bill 2025 at consideration.
Speaker, we want to plead with you that before we take item number 21, we take item number 25. We take the reports on the Security Committee, Security and Intelligence Committee report.
Are you ready?
Yes, they are ready. We want to do that quickly before we zoom onto the bill. Then we can have time to do the bill. Mr. Speaker, we want to take your report.
Well, item numbered 25. We have to take item number 24, rather. Item number 24, second reading of Security and Intelligence Agencies Bill 2025. Minister for Interior, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me thank you sincerely for this opportunity to move the motion that the Security and Intelligence Agency Bill 2025 be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, as you may know, we've had a number of security and intelligence bill or acts in our country that has run from 1996 all the way to today. And to recollect, Act 526, which was enacted in 1996, helped us to govern our security architecture all the way to around 2017. Hence, to change that warranted the introduction of new bill is the use of NIB, National Investigative Bureau, which also matches a bank's name, National Investment Bank. The Speaker, as you know, everywhere in the world, you make sure that the acronyms for the security agencies do not match any other thing. And in fact, it is supported by law to make sure that nobody is able to name anything after an acronym of any of the security agencies. Unfortunately, we have a situation where when you say NIB, people are wondering whether you're talking about the bank or you're talking about the security agency. So, Mr. Speaker, one of the significant things that we are trying to do is to reintroduce the name BNI, but this time, even though the BNI of yesterday was Bureau of National Investigation, this BNI will still remain Bureau of National Intelligence. Mr. Speaker, significantly among the bill for in the Act 1030 was the role of the Minister for National Security. Mr. Speaker, as you may know, the nature of the security architecture is largely, if you look at Article 83, is largely a function of the President, because the National Security Council is chaired by the President. And because the President cannot be running to Parliament to do other things, he tries to assign somebody to oversight that. But, Mr. Speaker, if you've worked or if you've gotten anybody that have worked in the space, it will tell you that if you are not careful, you create conflict between a detailed ministerial role and the function of the National Security Coordinator, because he's supposed to coordinate all the activities within the space. And if you assign or leave a ministry called Ministry of National Security, that largely is supposed to play an oversight. And if you are not careful, they begin to conflict and they begin to have misunderstanding. And that affects the security architecture that we have in the country. So one of the things that we are trying to do is to keep this position as more or less of that of the President, and then he gets one of his ministers to play that oversight without the necessarily fine detailed designation of a Minister for National Security, so that as much as possible you try to avoid the conflict between the Minister and the National Security Coordinator. The Speaker, the bill as we have proposed it now also tries to look at the functions of some of the key security agencies that we have. Mr. Speaker, precisely is the Narcotics Control Commission, the National Identification Authority, and the like of them. Mr. Speaker, they have become a very important aspect of our security architecture. But because of the nature of the Article 83 of the 1992 Constitution, that you cannot try to use a bill or an act to amend the Constitution, but we believe that we'll be able to take this, correct these anomalies at the regional and the district level. So, yes, if you look at Article 83, you cannot use an act to amend it. So you cannot add, for example, Ghana Immigration Service at the National Security Council. You can't add the National Fire Service at the National Security Council. Neither can you add the Narcotics Control Commission there. But it gives you an opportunity to introduce it at the regional and the district level. And we try to use this new act to do that. Mr. Speaker, over the period, we've been running away from the fact that the National Security Coordinator must have a secretariat that will help him to do this coordination. And therefore, sometimes we just assume that he operates from the office of the President. But everyone who has worked very closely with them will know the existence of a secretariat by the National Security Coordinator is a very important one, where he's equipped with officers that will help him to carry out his or her function. And therefore, the new bill that we are trying to introduce will make sure that those provisions are adequately made. Mr. Speaker, because of time, I just want to urge this House to help us to be able to carry out this bill, if necessary, through almost all the stages, even though we didn't apply for it to come under state of urgency. But I can say that this is something that we urgently need to get done so that we'll be able to get the country running and continue to protect the sanctity of our country. So, Mr. Speaker, with this, I hope that the House will graciously support us to get this done expeditiously. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Members, motion has been ably moved. I will therefore call on the chairperson of the committee to present the committee's report.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I second the motion.
I stated all over that at second reading, you don't second the motion. That is why I did not call on you to second the motion, but to present the committee's report.
Very well, Mr. Speaker. I would like to present the report on the committee on the Select Committee on Security and Intelligence on the Security and Intelligence Agencies Bill 2025 on the report. Mr. Speaker, the report was presented to the committee and referred from the Speaker, and it was meant to be a joint committee sitting between the leadership of Defense and Interior Committee and the Committee on Security and Intelligence. Mr. Speaker, following the referral, the bill was gazetted, and the committee received several memos from certain security and state agencies, as well as members of the public and some civil society organizations. Mr. Speaker, in considering the bill at the committee, a few issues were highlighted that I shall actually make reference to for the sake of brevity. A few observations that the committee made was on the receipt of the bill, the fact that, unfortunately, at the time, the bill did not actually speak the explanatory memorandum did not speak directly to the mischief that the bill sought to cure, and following which the Minister with oversight of the National Security Act, who is currently the Minister for Interior, actually came before the committee to clarify the reasons for which this bill was actually presented and some of the policy underpinnings of same, some of which the Minister has elucidated right here at plenary. Mr. Speaker, it was quite significant that the committee realized that there wasn't much said with regards to parliamentary oversight. And given the nexus between secrecy and accountability, the committee saw fit to include a section on parliamentary oversight, codified and well delineated, to make sure that that level of accountability that must come to bear with regards to our intelligence agencies is in the bill, to prevent the evasive nature that can sometimes be prevalent in that particular sector. Mr. Speaker, the committee also noted that there were certain additions that were sought to be made, which would have been in contravention with Article 83 of the Constitution. There were recommendations to actually compel the President in one of the clauses with regards to the membership of the National Security Council, which the committee actually felt strongly would actually limit the President's discretion with regards to selection of membership of the National Security Council. So the committee was of the opinion that the clause that pretty much locked the President in place with regards to a decision on the membership of 3 extra persons be actually deleted from the bill. Mr. Speaker, there was also a provision made for the appointment of a Deputy National Security Coordinator in order to make the burden of responsibility a little bit less with regards to the operations of the National Security Coordinator. One of the observations that was made in terms of the committee's deliberations and memos that came in was with the supposed creation of a new agency under the coordinator. This was later clarified, and the committee had this removed so that it actually is seen as the office of the coordinator as opposed to a new agency that was to be created to allow for the maintenance of the architecture in a form that actually aligns with the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, with regards to the issuance of warrants, another issue that was flagged by the committee was the desire for the agencies to have issuance of warrant or possible abuse of that there ought to be with regards to the access of material that had been received through intelligence collection in the process. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, given the recommendations made by the committee, concluded that this bill, with an enhanced version of the explanatory memo, certainly are in favor of this House passing this bill into law. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, without much ado, I would like to recommend that this House... Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable members, motion moved. Reports of the committee presented. Pursuant to Standing Order 127, Monetary Memorandum, and the report of the committee, the floor is now therefore open. I recognize Honourable Patrick Yaobuama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this motion. Mr. Speaker, it's welcoming to have a national security and intelligence bill being debated this afternoon. Mr. Speaker, I've gone through the report, and I would like to draw your attention to paragraph 6.7, which deals with clauses 39 to 31. And before I go there, I would like to make reference to Article 18.2 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, a person shall be subjected to interference with the privacy of his home, property, correspondence, or communication, except in accordance with law, and as may be necessary in a free and democratic society for public safety or the economic well-being of the country, for the protection of health or moral of others. Mr. Speaker, clauses 39 to 31 of this report deals with the powers that are going to be given to a Superior Court Justice. From a report of the National Security Coordinator or any of his deputies, to target persons and locations with specific rules for warrants authorizing interception of communications. Mr. Speaker, that's on paragraph 6.7, under the signature of the said judicial officer. Warrants authorizing specific persons to carry out powers such as intercepting communications or obtaining information and documents as stated. Mr. Speaker, this power or powers that are being given to the National Security Coordinator or any officer designated by the President under his hand must be exercised carefully under the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, because very often when persons are given such powers, they overreact, they breach people's privacy and fundamental human rights because of such others. And we want, it's also welcoming that the President is willing to cede his powers by appointing a national security minister. Mr. Speaker, most countries in the West African sub-region and in Africa have a designated minister for national security. And I know for a fact that the Interior Minister is acting as the minister responsible for national security. It will be very important for him to be given, for the President to appoint a minister for national security to assist with the hard work that he's undertaking for the country. You all know that we don't have a minister for defense as we speak, and we think it's a welcoming bill, interfering with persons' privacy, intercepting their calls, searching duties of the National Security Coordinator and his operatives in the exercise of these functions. Mr. Speaker,
so you are speaking with specific
with interception of communications under the hand of a judicial officer. It's on pages 4 and 5 of the report, Mr. Speaker.
I'm looking at the substantive bill, which make reference to application to the judge.
Yes. We are debating the report, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, the principle and then the listing.
So I can look at.
So I'm just drawing your attention to the fact that this is subject to an application made.
I'm saying to an application. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but once a judge is the one going to grant the application
I don't know
or
if you want to
refuse the
participate in
application.
the debate.
No, I am not participating in the debate. But we want the factual situation to be out there.
So, Mr. Speaker, it's also welcoming that the Minister for Interior, with oversight responsibility over national security, is pushing this bill. I know how passionate he has been. And he's also giving to a district somebody who will be working there, performing the duties of a district security coordinator. That person ought to be known and approved by the minister responsible for national security. The structure, the security architecture that is being proposed here is going to be backed by law. So whoever breaches any of the provisions in the law could be taken on by any of the offenders. So I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. But my interest was on the interference and interception of our communications. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, yes, Honourable Ntimfojo.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to contribute to the report that has been laid and to state that at the outset, the committee raised serious objection to and concerns on the explanatory memorandum that accompanied the bill, and as a matter of fact, observed a far departure from the content of the bill relative to what the memo itself sought to do. Mr. Speaker, one of those very glaring discrepancy was a principle that the bill seeks to create the Office of the National Security Coordinator as an agency, as an intelligence agency, which we disagreed and thought that it was improper for the central role that the Office of the National Security Coordinator ought to play in coordinating decisions that are taken at the National Security Council. It ought not to be an agency, which was agreed upon by the sponsors of the bill and amendment consequently made. On page 6 of the report, Mr. Speaker, I refer you to page 6 of the report. The committee observed that the explanatory memorandum does not clearly set out policy objectives and underlying principles of the bill, nor does it adequately identify defects or mischief in existing law that the bill seeks to cure as required under Article 1062 of the 1992 Constitution. We thought that sufficient justification was not given to the particular mischief that the new bill sought to cure, and failure to provide sufficient justification for the mischief went to suggest that there may not even be a need for a new bill to overhaul or to repeal the existing one. Set further position from the sponsors and provided further information and policy clarity, which persuaded was problematic, and we observed that it wasn't in consonance with the directive, the policy directive as enshrined in Article 83 of the Constitution, which provides the framework for the composition of the National Security Council, from which we draw the composition of the security councils at the regional and district level, i.e. the proposed inclusion of National Insurance Authority, National Identification Authority, the National Ambulance Service, Narcotics Control Commission, and members of Parliament. The proposed inclusion that the policy sought to include at the regional security councils and district security councils, we opposed and thought that was problematic and inappropriate, for which that needed to be looked at. And again, on parliamentary oversight, surprisingly, no provision was clearly indicated or no policy direction was given as to how parliamentary oversight of the intelligence function will be exercised, and for which the committee insisted on inclusion of a clause dedicated to providing mechanisms for parliamentary oversight of the intelligence sector. And that said, Mr. Speaker, the appointment of the minister that will be responsible for national security and by extension intelligence was a matter that needed serious clarity. Because from practice in this country, reference to Act 526 and Act 1030, two schools of thought have existed. One school of thought that actually sought to create the Ministry of National Security, and another school of thought where a minister responsible for national security was appointed without the necessary creation of a whole bureaucracy for that function. And in order that, in the passage of this bill, we would not come back in the shortest possible time for an amendment to be occasioned to that portion, we sought clarity and advised that we couch that provision in a way that will stand the test of time and will be able to serve those school of thoughts in the event that future presidents differ in principle. So that was agreed upon, such that in the current position agreed upon in this bill, the president would have the prerogative to appoint a minister, any minister, to be responsible for the function of intelligence and national security. Any minister at all may be appointed. And by interpretation, what that also means is that if any president so desires that he wants to create a whole bureaucracy for it, there would not be a need to come back to Parliament to amend that provision, and EI can be invoked for that to happen, to strengthen the resilience of this bill. That said, Mr. Speaker, on the appointment of the National Security Coordinator, we saw that no direction was given as to how the Deputy National Security Coordinator should be appointed, for which we raised concerns
because there's an incumbent deputy national security coordinator, and we needed to seek clarity that at the promulgation of this law, some people may not have to lose their jobs, and that was also factored in. But one of the key areas of contention was the constitutional basis for which that appointment will be taken. Whether the National Security Coordinator ought to be appointed under Article 195 or Article 70, considering the political nature. Over the years, we've all known that the roles of National Security Coordinator has always been conterminous with that of the president that appointed him. Even in times when you have had different presidents from the same party or government, we have never had a National Security Coordinator repeated. So we thought that then it should make sense for the incumbent to be appointed under Article 70. But that matter did not see consensus, and that in the subsequent life of this consideration, we will look at it and put it to bed. And so, Mr. Speaker, we recommend that the House takes this report, supports it, for us to pass a bill that will regulate the security sector governance of this country, particularly intelligence sector, and ensure that we have a creditable bill, a bill that will stand tall in the sub-region and supports the function of intelligence in this country to enhance our security. I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Nitiwul.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this bill. Mr. Speaker, I want to first go to page 3 of the report and look at the object of the bill. Mr. Speaker, any analysis of this bill, that's where you will start from, the object of the bill. If I were to take the bill itself, I would have gone to look at the memorandum of the bill. But once I'm not using the bill, I'll go to the object of the bill and look at it. And, Mr. Speaker, the government says that the bill is seeking to provide matters relating to the National Security Council and to establish regional and security councils and district councils, as well as to specify some of the state agencies responsible for coordinating, implementing government policies, and go on. But, Mr. Speaker, the government then goes to page 2 to tell us exactly the reason why they are bringing this bill, and that the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act 1996 Act 526 was in existence for well over 24 years, and it was just repealed 5 years ago by a new Act 1030. In fact, they put it 4 years ago. And that the policy direction of the government is to provide, and he said that there's a need for enactment to reflect the current policy direction of the government. Mr. Speaker, I don't think this House should allow governments to be changing security acts because they are in government. I don't know whether I'm making sense, but I don't think so. Mr. Speaker, there must be the reason, quantitative reason why you are changing the security architecture, but not because of you. Are you saying that in 4 years, when we are no more in government, the new government will then come and bring another bill? Is that what we want to be doing? I don't think so. Maybe there may be other better reasons, but you use this as the principal reason why you are reenacting this bill. I think it's wrong. I'll continue with that. I'll come to that. Mr. Speaker, then more importantly,
Honorable Nitiwul, is there anything in the bill or in the report that suggests that the change is as a result of change in government?
Mr. Speaker, the Security and Intelligence Act 1996 Act 526 was in existence for well over 20 years before it was repealed by the Security and Intelligence Act 2020 Act 1030. 4 years after the operationalization of the Act, there is a need. I want you to listen, Mr. Speaker. there is a need for reenactment to reflect the current policy direction of the government.
Yes.
That's what the government is saying.
Yes.
That for them, they are repealing this act because they have a new direction and they want us to follow that direction.
Yes, I wouldn't have that particular problem. But you are saying because there is a change.
Of course. The only reason, Mr. Speaker, the only reason why the government is saying this is because there's a new government. They say it is their direction. So I'm asking, if in 4 years, and it will happen, you are no more in power, we were expecting the new government to also bring a new act to reflect their direction. Is that what we are saying? Mr. Speaker, I am saying that they say the bill envisages the National Security Council, chaired by the President, will work directly with the Office of National Security Coordinator and the Director General of the Intelligence that, and more importantly, the policy direction of the government, and that's the principal reason. The policy direction of the government is to provide for a security architecture where the National Security Coordinator coordinates the activities of the security and intelligence agencies in the country. Mr. Speaker, that is already the practice. In fact, even in the old bill under Jerry Rawlings, that was the practice. Under this current bill, that is the practice. So you cannot say, Mr. Speaker, that the policy direction for which we are changing the bill is because you want the National Security Coordinator to coordinate the activities. It's already, that is what is being done. Mr. Speaker, the framers of our Constitution, and let me be very clear, the framers of our Constitution were very, very clear, that there shall be an office of a National Security Coordinator to coordinate the activities of the security agencies. So every time, whether it's a Wednesday, it's a Tuesday, they meet in a JCR to coordinate the activities, Mr. Speaker, and that has always been the practice. That has always been the practice. Mr. Speaker, what is your time? You sit down. So, Mr. Speaker, they convey meetings in our time every Wednesday.
Hold it. I recognize Honorable Yarga.
Ordinarily, I will not interrupt debate. But you made a statement that it is provided for in the Constitution. No. You said it's provided for in the Constitution that there shall be a national security coordinator who shall coordinate the activities. And I just want to correct that there's no office of coordinator in the Constitution. There's a secretary to the council. There's a secretary, but not a coordinator.
There has always been an office of the National Security Coordinator. His duty has always been to coordinate the activities of the security agencies. The NIB, in those days, the BNI, now NIB, right? Mr. Speaker, the research, which works directly under the Minister for Foreign Affairs, because the NIB is the internal one, research is external, and Mr. Speaker, and also they liaise with the defense intelligence and the police intelligence. In our time, every Wednesday, the heads of this institution will meet with the national security, and all the information on daily basis are sent to the coordinator. So the object for which we are changing this bill has already catered for in the two previous bills. So I don't know why you are doing that. Two, you should not, let me advise, you should not and you should never make the office of the National Security Coordinator an agency. And if the Interior Minister is listening, please, you will realize that in practice, you will want the accounts of the National Security Coordinator not to be audited. If you make it an agency, you will have difficulty raising funds when there's problem in any part of the country. Because as Minister for Defense, I did not have interest. I didn't have resources lying down. I couldn't. And there was no way I could have any resources lying down. The only place, Honorable Minister, was to rely on the Office of National Security Coordinator to immediately raise funds within seconds for the soldiers to move. And so it will be dangerous for this nation to make that office an agency and say that Parliament shall audit its accounts just like what they are doing to others. I think it's a misplaced priority. If you do that, you will suffer. Take it from me. you will have difficulty because when you need your soldiers to move in 30 minutes to quell an instance, you have resources. When you have fuel finish in Bemakam, Mr. Speaker, and you need fuel instantly, you won't have resources. When the soldiers are in Boku, they are in Bimbla, they are in Zibila, they are in Wa, and the ration runs out, and you need resources to be able to immediately send money to them, you have difficulty. You will need the National Security Office to stay as it is, to provide quick, adequate resources. Otherwise, you're going to have problems, Mr. Speaker. That has always been the practice, and it's good practice. I don't know why you want to change it. If you do, Mr. Speaker, trust me, after 1 year, we will change it. If we do, just within 1 year of practice, we will change it. It should never be an agency. Why should it be? It should be directly under the president. It should serve the National Security Council, as it's currently doing, and he should report directly to the president. Don't tie the president's hands. Don't. And I think that this bill, we should really look at it. I don't think there's a need for a new bill. I don't think. If the president has a problem of appointing a minister, he should not appoint the minister as he has done. There's no need. If the president thinks that he won't appoint the minister, that is his prerogative. He should appoint the minister. But to bring a new bill and change a lot of things that would rather be to the detriment of our security architecture, I think is not good. Because when I take this and I go through the clauses one by one, and you go through these clauses and you change them, in 2 years you come back here and change most of them again. Because in practice, you are going to face problems. If you don't have a finance minister who understands security, and you change this, you will have problems. Atu may not always be there. Maybe he understands, maybe he doesn't understand. But I can tell you that you will face problems. So, Mr. Speaker, let's look at this. We are doing some of these things for the nation. We are not doing it because NDC is in power or MPP is in power. We are doing it because it is the best practice. I don't know why anybody will want to do what they intend to do, unless I'm not understanding what the bill itself is seeking to do. But if you do that, you have problems. Mr. Speaker, the president is right to say that he will choose a minister who will oversee the operations of national security. That has always been the case. Until recently when a ministry was created out of it. So even with that, some people will still choose a minister just to oversee, like they have chosen Magufuli Mutaka to oversee it. It's normal. I don't think that we should be taking the bill, ripping it apart after 4 years, and bringing in something that will give us problems. Mr. Speaker, let me go back to the point I made. Don't make the Office of National Security Coordinator an agency that will report to a minister.
Honorable former minister, you are sounding repetitive, so
Thank
conclude.
you. But I'm just saying that for emphasis, let me repeat, don't make it like that. It will create problems for you. It will create problems for the sitting president. It will create problems for the smooth running of the security agencies. It will create problems for us. Because remember, security is a daily routine. It runs every day and changes very quickly. The face of security changes very quickly. And you need resources, quick resources every time. So if we are not careful and we go the way we are going, Mr. Speaker, we'll have problems. Maybe during the clause by clause itself, we may all have to look at it and we know it properly and advise the president. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I tell you, on the surface of it, we may like it. But if you ask security experts, they will tell you that if we do some of the things we want to do, Mr. Speaker, we'll come back in 2 years' time to change it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member, you have the floor. I'll come to you after that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the report. Mr. Speaker, I have my contribution couched in 3 forms. One, Mr. Speaker, the first is on the issue of the composition. Mr. Speaker, let me start by commending the committee for putting together a very good report, a comprehensive report for that matter. Mr. Speaker, looking at page 7 of the report, specifically paragraph 8.2, which talks about the composition. Mr. Speaker, the report itself covers or says that per clause 1.2 of the bill, there is that strong recommendation for the expansion of the National Security Council. Mr. Speaker, but the report itself admits that given Article 83 of the Constitution, the 1992 Constitution of the report recommends a review of Article 83 of the Constitution. And so, Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, if I may read the first line of Article 83(1), Mr. Speaker, it reads, "There shall be a National Security Council which shall consist of." Mr. Speaker, it's my humble submission that in reviewing this provision or in amending this provision of the Constitution, instead of using the word "consists of" in order to give meaning to the call for the expansion of the National Security Council, we can then have Article 83(1) of the Constitution now amended to read, and with your permission, "There shall be a National Security Council which shall include." Mr. Speaker, if you use the word "include," then you have a room to add more to the list. But as it stands now per the Constitution, the word there is "consist," which means that it's a closed door. And so we can only be able to deal with the list as we have it there, from 83(1) to 83K. Mr. Speaker, the call for the expansion also says that the President must have regard to the Ghana Immigration Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, and gender balance. Mr. Speaker, if you do that, then you are taking away the discretion given by the President per Article 83(1)K. And with your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I wish to read Article 83(1)K, which says, after listing all the members of the Council, it says 3 persons appointed by the President. Mr. Speaker, it's not for nothing that the Constitution itself will leave it open and give the discretion to the President to appoint those 3 persons. But now if you are saying that we should now add a member of the Immigration Service, a member of the Fire Service, and considered gender balance, it means that you are tying the hands of the President. So these 3 persons, which the Constitution has given such wide discretion to the President, is now seen to be a closed issue. And so, Mr. Speaker, I wish to commend the committee, because if you look at their report per paragraph 8.21, they have dealt with this issue and have done so well with that. Mr. Speaker, having spoken about the composition, I wish to comment on the membership. Mr. Speaker, there is the issue of the composition of the Regional Security Council and the District Security Council. And there's that call that in constituting the District Security Council, the DCE, or if you like, the MCE, should nominate the MP. So the MP should be a member, but the member of Parliament should be nominated by the DCE. I feel that, Mr. Speaker, this will not be the best for the country, because per the hierarchy of things, I do not see how an MP of a constituency will now have to be appointed by his DCE to serve on the council. If there is a need for the MP to serve on the said district council, then there must be a way of appointing him, or the constitution or the bill must simply say that the MP must serve on the council, but not to give that power to the DCE or the MCE to appoint the MP to serve on the council. Mr. Speaker, I think this is not best for
Honourable Member, have you seen the amendment proposed by the committee and attached to the report?
No, please, Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking directly from the report.
Please, you have to look at it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, I'm guided.
If you look at it carefully, you will realize that the basis of your argument is flawed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. Mr. Speaker, the other issue regarding the committee's report is the fact that there seems to be a rejection of the call to have the MP represented at the District Security Council. Mr. Speaker, and the simple reason is that it will create some political interference. Mr. Speaker, I don't think the inclusion of an MP or the MP in the the District Security Council will necessarily create political interference, because, Mr. Speaker, the MP is also part of the security architecture of the district or the constituency. And so if you have the MP represented, at least it will even help to ensure that the one who has the mandate of the people is part of the council that takes decisions affecting the security of the people. And so, Mr. Speaker, it is my humble appeal that the provision that allows MP to be represented must be maintained and should not be rejected. Mr. Speaker, the last part of my argument is on the call to have a Deputy National Security Coordinator. Mr. Speaker, I think this call is in the right direction.
And I think it can come under Article 195 of the Constitution, which gives power to the President to appoint persons to even act in acting positions. And so, Mr. Speaker, it is my humble appeal that we should include and have it stated in the bill the position of the Deputy National Security Coordinator, and that power should be given to the President to appoint. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak to your committee's report. Mr. Speaker, the fear that my senior colleague, Honorable Nitiwu, is admonishing is exactly what this bill is seek to cure. Exactly. By saying when government changes and government comes. That is why this bill is being brought to this House for members to support it so that that fear will not be in existence. If you look at Act 526, which has been in existence for over 2 decades, then if you come to Act 1032, which has been in existence for 5 years, these are the 2 main bills that we have drawn best practices from to come up with this report. So that is going to cure your fear. And I'm happy you said all that we are seeking to do is already in existence. So what is your fear again? So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the committee's report, that is why we did not accept the fact that members of parliament should be part of the regional and district security council membership. We didn't accept it. Then you have not gone through the report. We didn't accept it for members of parliament to be members of the RESEC and the district. So, Mr. Speaker, what this bill seeks to do is for the bill to stand the test of time, more resilient. If you look at the coercion that happened at the committee level, we were coercion. Yes, coercion. Yes, the synergy. Yes, the synergy at the committee level was so superior. Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the committee's report, there were legal brains that were part of the committee report. The Renomi committee members were there, and well expertise were part of this committee report formulation, so that at the end of it, when it comes to the floor of the House, nobody will have the laxity to say this report is not to stand the test of time. So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at paragraph 8.6, the committee's report conforms to the Constitution, that is the supremacy of the land. Anything we came up with, we sought the root from the Constitution, so that at the end, it will be more formidable to stand the test of time. So I will urge honorable members to support this report so that at the end, the bill we are going to enact will stand the test of time. And irrespective of whichever you find yourself in the political device, be it in opposition or in governance, you will stand firm and will fear no evil. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, I intend to take one more from here and then come to leadership. Yes, Honorable Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and let me thank my senior colleague for yielding to me. Mr. Speaker, without the risks of sounding repetitive, I need to state for emphasis that the memorandum accompanying the bill is totally different from the content of the bill. Mr. Speaker, the bill proposed far-reaching and sweeping reforms and amendment to Act 1030. And those amendments are not minor amendments. In fact, they are fundamental amendments to Act 1030, including the abolishment of the office of the minister responsible for national security. Because Act 1030 provides that there shall be a minister responsible for national security. This proposed amendment seeks to abolish that. Mr. Speaker, without any explanation in the memorandum, the rationale for such a decision. Mr. Speaker, there is also the proposal in this particular bill to, make certain reforms to the functions of the National Security Coordinator. These are fundamental amendments that we think that if you wanted to do that, the memorandum accompanying the bill should have specified clearly what mischief is the current architecture of the national security of the country. What is the mischief that this current bill is supposed to cure? But there is none of such in the bill, Mr. Speaker, and I think that it did not help me. I've read through this particular bill, the whole bill, and I've read the memorandum accompanying the bill, Mr. Speaker, even as a non-member of the committee, and I think that that first issue would have to be addressed. Mr. Speaker, there is also an issue. If you read Section 19 of Act 1030 and Section 18, clearly these two provisions in the current law have not been attended to in the current Act or in the current bill. Section 18 and Section 19 of Act 1030 have not been dealt with in this current proposal. And it's a major issue that I think that the memorandum should have attended to, and then even the current bill should have also addressed. Mr. Speaker, if you further read Section 17 and 11 of the proposed bill that is before this House, they have merged certain functions, and they are assuming that the functions that were performed by the internal security and the external security are almost the same. And this particular decision to merge this particular function is very dangerous for us, Mr. Speaker, because the role of the BNI or NIB and the role of the research department of the foreign affairs are totally different. And that to assume that they perform similar functions and to merge their functions and to not to reflect on the function they hitherto perform under Section 11 and Section 17 of Act 1030 is problematic, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will need to further draw your attention to Section 18 of the proposed bill. Section 18, Mr. Speaker, provides for appointment of the Director General. The Director General, and with your permission, if I may read, Mr. Speaker, the President shall, in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution, appoint a Director General as head of the internal and external securities agencies referred to in paragraph B and C of Section 12. Mr. Speaker, we have the Director General to be appointed in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. But in my view, in my responsible view, Mr. Speaker, the Director of a BNI and the Director for the Research Department are supposed to still be independent and distinct positions to be held by those people as separate authorities, Mr. Speaker. Having one person being the Director General for the National Internal Security and the Director General, the same person as the Director for the External Security is too much of work for such a person to have. National security are serious issues, Mr. Speaker. National security are serious issues that if you don't have every single I dotted and every single T crossed, you will get it wrong. And we are facing recent threat of, extremism, Mr. Speaker. These extremist activities are not for one person to clog with the power, and you think that one person is able to do the work of the national security. And Mr. Speaker, as a matter of principle, I am against the fact that the national security minister is supposed to be a minister assigned by the president. There must be a dedicated minister responsible for national security. There must be the national security minister, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the argument that you want to rationalize costs, you say that the president has the authority to appoint anyone to be the national security minister. Mr. Speaker, I argue that the fact that Honor Mutaka was appointed as the minister responsible, additional for national security, was in violation of Act 1030. Because the Act is very clear that there shall be a minister appointed who shall be a minister for national security. It is not for the president to decide that I want to give the national security minister to someone with other responsibility. It is not for the president to decide. And if the president wants to go by the dictates of this particular bill, Act 10, he should have appointed a different minister who will be responsible for national security. National security has to have a minister distinct from the minister responsible for interior. Mr. Speaker, I will further comment on the issues about the functions of National Security Council, Mr. Speaker. The Article 83 of the Constitution has clearly provided the functions of the National Security Council, Mr. Speaker. And those functions in this bill are supposed to be complete replica of those particular provisions in the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, there are identified mismatch. There are identified mismatch between Article 83 of the Constitution that provides for the National Security Council and their functions, and then the provisions in this bill that are dealing with the functions of the National Security Council. I'm sure when we come to probably the consideration stage of this particular bill, we will point out to those specific mismatch, because the language of the Constitution is clear, and the language of the Constitution should be replicated in the bill if we want to have the bill being consistent with the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Of the function of the Director General, Mr. Speaker, in Section 19, the function of the Director General, Mr. Speaker, in Section 19 of the bill, Mr. Speaker, this bill has proposed to change, apart from the fact that I argue and I make the point that it is not proper to have the Director General being responsible for both internal and external security. The functions under this particular proposed bill are actually also limited in their scope as compared to Act 1030. And that fact that we have the national security, the Director General of the internal and external security function being limited, I think that it is doing much damage to our security and the security of the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, these are my words, but I think that, one, we cannot use this bill to limit the powers of the president as contained in Article 83 of the Constitution. We cannot again use this bill to abolish the office of the national security or the minister responsible for national security, because the Act 1030 was clear. And the reason why we made provision for that, because we thought national security issues are serious issues that we need a dedicated minister, a minister who will have complete and full attention for national security issues. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to contribute to the report. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, at this side, I can still give the floor to Honorable Majority Chief Whip. Majority Chief Whip, I saw you on your feet, if you want to contribute. Then I'll come to
Mr. Speaker, I was on my feet just to draw attention that the Honorable Kabiru appears to be repeating himself and was so fortuitously he concluded his comment. So no, but we are guiding. We are providing a guide. We are providing a guide.
Yes,
please.
Minority leadership.
We are providing a guide, please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to add my voice to the debate on this bill. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Nitiwu took us through some issues, and my colleague who just debated further highlighted some points I have here, and I would not repeat all of the points they've already argued. But Mr. Speaker, it is important to underscore one fundamental issue, that the memorandum before us does not provide any empirical evidence to suggest that Act 1030 has failed. Mr. Speaker, it appears that this bill is more founded on partisan political interest than a national security interest for good governance. Mr. Speaker, without doubting the competence of my own senior, Honorable Muntaka Mubarak, I think that he's been overburdened. Handling Interior Ministry alone can take away all his energy. Then he has a further oversight responsibility as National Security Minister. Mr. Speaker, is he a National Security Minister responsible for the security of the state, or he's just there for the mere presence? Is he dormant or is active? To what extent is he in charge of those responsibilities as a National Security Minister? Mr. Speaker, I think that our democracy has come of age. We as the political actors must begin to move away from those parochial approach to governance. You are in power today, so you see everything expedient with changing certain fundamental principles, because as I overheard somebody saying somewhere, we are in power. Mr. Speaker, it is not enough to say you are in power. So you will change the architecture of the security of the state, even when it is not going to help the country. Mr. Speaker, we have a National Security Coordinator who is not going to be responsible to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I recall that in the enactment process for Act 1030, the key argument by the then opposition, the minority in this House, was to the effect that bringing in a minister responsible for national security to be appointed as a bona fide minister for that infrastructure, that institution of national security, would help with that interface between the people and government. And Parliament can summon such minister to answer questions and explain matters. Mr. Speaker, it is the reason why Parliament itself, in its new rules, created a new committee for intelligence, the Security and Intelligence Committee. And Mr. Speaker, we even went further to say that to be a member of that committee, you must take an oath because of what may come to you, so that members of that committee will not be one of those committees that you are working in and acting partisan, because you are going to receive sensitive information, sensitive intel that may affect the nation if you disclose. So we created an architecture where the minister will report to Parliament, work with our committee, and then ensure a seamless relationship. Mr. Speaker, what this bill is doing is to do away with all the gains we have achieved the last 4 years. And by the way, the coordinator, how is he to be appointed? We are not referring it to Article 195 of the Constitution. So the president would just appoint anybody, sit there, you are my coordinator. When even ministerial appointment, the Constitution provides that that minister must come through Parliament. And in Parliament, there are enactments like OSP, the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The Special Prosecutor comes to vetting. Parliament vets the Special Prosecutor. Why would it be that who is not answerable to anybody? And we are starting it right from here. if we create ambiguity in enactment.
Minority Leader, the Minister is on his
Very
seat.
well.
Minority Leader, on point of order, to say that he is misleading this House. Because we've operated from Act 526, like earlier mentioned, for 24 years, and equally operated under 1030 for 4 years, so that's 28 years. And both 526 and 1030, the coordinator is appointed under Article 195. So this argument that you are making is, with a greater respect to you, something that we've been practicing. And then the issue about if somebody is responsible for national security will enroll or derail all the gains that have been made. Since we started a year and some few months now, I have been designated as a minister. I've responsibly been in this House to answer questions. I've gone to committee to give briefing. I've done everything this House has ever wanted any minister of security to do. Yet, I've just been given only an oversight responsibility. So it's not something that is new or something extraordinary that is going to weaken Parliament. If you care to know, look at the committee's report. I don't know whether you've taken time to go through. You will have seen that in the committee's report, there's even a new addition about how this House could place an oversight on the security and intelligence sector. So, please, Mr. Speaker, I think my colleague should straight to whatever contribution that is made, but it doesn't create an impression or mislead the House to, as if something untoward is now coming. What we are coming to do is not much different from what has existed in the past. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, before I go on with my submission, let me register this protest. Mr. Speaker, it is unacceptable. It's unacceptable for the Honorable Minister, who has his own opinion on this matter, to smuggle it in under point of order. He has an opinion. He should state it when the time comes. When we are done, he as a minister has every right, unfettered, to make his point known. And any point of a disagreement with my submissions, that will be the right opportunity to do so. I mean, at least, let's be fair with each other. Mr. Speaker, my point here is that in the existing dispensation, we created that national security architecture and made it a ministry. Under Act 1030, a ministry was created, and the minister was made responsible for that sector, who was to report to Parliament, just to ensure that there's a seamless relationship with Parliament. Mr. Speaker, this new enactment, what is being proposed, so much power is being given to the coordinator. It is not clear how his powers are going to be fettered. And Mr. Speaker, my submission is that if you give such powers to the coordinator and you do not provide for a clear path of responsibility, accountability, and oversight, it becomes problematic to you yourself as a government. And when the rights of citizens are being abused, the man will come and tell you that in the name of national security, it is because I am relying on intelligence. Mr. Speaker, but if we bring clarity to the issue, Mr. Speaker, it becomes difficult for such people to, Mr. Speaker, as it were, take advantage of the law to abuse the rights of citizens. Mr. Speaker, if you go through the memorandum of understanding, it does not also explain how the so-called duplication concerns with the existing institution will be addressed in practice beyond the general coordination language. There's no explanation if you go through clause by clause. They have not addressed the issue of duplication. So what duplication are you addressing? Mr. Speaker, if you go through the bill again, it is clear that the measurable gaps in coordination that are supposed to be documented are not found. Whatever gaps that, according to the minister, have been identified, Mr. Speaker, it is expected that in this bill we find them. So there are no such documented gaps. You are not telling us that in the existing legislation these are the gaps you've identified, and therefore you are introducing these new clauses to address them. Nothing like that is said. Mr. Speaker, I am interested in Article 18 rights. No additional protection is introduced to safeguard the rights of citizens when they are violated. Mr. Speaker, we cannot have a bill of this nature when we know that this bill, then by the time a citizen goes through the judicial process, he would have lost a whole lot. Mr. Speaker, when we give them the right to the power to even freeze people's accounts, freeze assets, and we do not provide for a procedure that would allow the right thing to be done. We heard about what happened to the former governor of Central Bank. We heard what happened. Somebody goes to his house and says that I had a court order. And later when we're asking for the court order, we all know the ex parte application, Mr. Speaker. We shouldn't wait to get into opposition before we find everything wrong with the law. The National Security Minister, or the minister responsible for national security, who is sponsoring this bill, must safeguard the right of citizens. It's their right, far right. We know what is happening. In the name of national security, rights are abused, and at this point, as the people's representatives, we are enacting the law, and we do not want to put in these safeguards. It will come back and haunt us. I believe that at the right time, during consideration, we'll look at it. But it is important that I bring this to the attention of the minister and my respected colleague, the chair of the committee, so that we fully tackle this. The provisions in there are insufficient. I respectfully submit. Mr. Speaker, I am also concerned about the oversight mechanisms in this new law. Mr. Speaker, this framework doesn't appear to strengthen oversight mechanisms. And here I talk about Parliament. The Committee of Intelligence and Security is not given a clear, defined role in ensuring proper oversight. Mr. Speaker, not too long ago, we heard about the Attorney General in a public interview talking about some operational funds and how that operational funds has become a matter of some litigation in court. Mr. Speaker, don't we think as a house that this is the time to at least strengthen Parliament oversight on some of these matters, so that the committee whose members have taken an oath can interrogate some of these things, bearing in mind the essence of time, because Honorable Niti will argue that issue, that much as we want to put in place some measures, we should also ensure that we don't delay the release of funds for operations. The system that we put in place must be said that we balance oversight with prudence when it comes to operations. Honorable Minister, that in my view is also missing. Mr. Speaker, let us look at Article 21, 23, conjointly with 18. Mr. Speaker, to 23 and 21 are very, very fundamental. We are dealing with issues of administrative justice. How sure are we that this bill will not give the security agencies that continued unfettered right to be using ex parte applications in the name of national security to continue to abuse the rights of citizens, especially those who do not have the means to employ lawyers to defend them? Mr. Speaker, many of our citizens are poor and cannot afford legal representation. For these citizens, they must be in our contemplation at an important juncture like this whilst we are enacting this law. If we don't bring clarity in this, Mr. Speaker, we'll be creating problem for the many who may not have the means to get high-class legal representation. And what happens to them? They will go to the BNI and then they will be told that, oh, you write this statement and just have your bail. They will write the next moment, they go to court and they tell them that, my lord, he said he admitted to the offense and he's guilty as pleaded. He doesn't have a lawyer. The next moment, he's in jail. There are many more of such cases. Mr. Speaker, I am a practitioner in our court, and I know many situations that people don't know about their own rights, and our security agencies have relied on laws to deny them leader. Their rights.
Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, the minority leader is a senior member of this House, and he knows that it cannot depart from the terms of the report and move into anticipation. Order 1251 is clearly in breach of Order 1251. He can't do that. It's anticipating what will happen tomorrow, what will happen the day after tomorrow. You can't do that. No. There are rules for bid anticipation. You can't be arguing in anticipation in respect of a report, the terms of which are very clear before you. You can't be arguing in a preemptive manner, anticipating that this will happen, and that will happen, and that will also happen. Mr. Speaker, he's a senior member, he's a leader. We learn from him. He's a leader. He should stay within the terms of the report.
Honorable Leader, take note of the observation and also take note of the fact that Clause 29 to 31 is a repetition of Act 1030.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, to the extent that my colleague suggests to this House that I am going outside of the issue before us, Mr. Speaker, I would like to respond for Hansa to also capture same. Mr. Speaker, I strongly disagree with him. At this stage of the lawmaking process is where all issues and concerns are expressed. The matter I raise has to do with what happens in our courts. And I am saying that I have witnessed situations where rights are abused because such citizens who came into contact with the security agencies in one way or the other did not have access to representation. Mr. Speaker, as a result of that, they suffer some injustice. All I'm saying is that if we are enacting, it is important that we bring clarity and safeguard the rights of citizens. We should provide for these so that the security agencies, as part of their own administrative duties, will be guided. Mr. Speaker, until we ensure that citizens were not detained beyond 48 hours, until all of us spoke about it, that this is enshrined in the Constitution, there were times that citizens were detained by security agencies beyond 48 hours. But, Mr. Speaker, because the law is clear and unambiguous, such abuses have limited. Even so, such abuses have not stopped. Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that the over-concentration of power in the appointment process without Parliament having the opportunity to vet is a matter of serious concern that this House must look at even as we go into the consideration stage. Mr. Speaker, 2, I have also identified a weak accountability mechanism. It is largely dominated by the executive oversight rather than parliamentary oversight. And I've stated that, and I will not repeat it. Mr. Speaker, I also acknowledge the fact that there must be some level of secrecy. I agree, national security issues must not be made public. However, I need to repeat for the record that to the extent that Parliament itself in its wisdom has enacted its regulation that creates a new committee responsible for national security, Mr. Speaker, there must be unfettered disclosure to the extent that members on that committee, Mr. Speaker, have taken oath. Mr. Speaker, looking at this enactment, it appears again that there is some broad, rather loosely framed, intrusive powers and weak warrant regime. Mr. Speaker, I would delve deep into this when we get into the consideration stage. I've already emphasized what happened not too long ago with this warrant for search and all of that. Mr. Speaker, this law does not address it fully. And it appears that, Mr. Speaker, what we are seeking to do is to create a much more intrusive institution. We are allowing a new warrant regime, complicating matters, and this would further affect citizens, especially political witch hunting. Mr. Speaker, we should also be mindful of the politicization of the regional and district security councils. Those regional security coordinators and the district security coordinators, if you go through the enactment, we do not define their essential qualification for appointment. Are they going to be party members who would be given job for the boys, so you are a district security coordinator or regional security coordinator? When they see somebody's cassava in a pickup, they go and chase you. They say, for national security reason, we stopped you. When they see that, there is a car going, somebody has bought his new car, they will chase you and come and say, where did you get money to buy this new car? Mr. Speaker, I say some of these things from experience. Just about a month ago, my own pickup was chased by a so-called regional security coordinator and arrested the driver and said that, he has information from national security. Meanwhile, it was not true. When he realized that the car was mine, he said, sorry. Meanwhile, he had arrested the guy, frustrated him, and I don't want to say he extorted money from him for not having a registered car. Mr. Speaker, if such a person was a professional and by enactment he has gone through the vetting process of appointment and knows what he is supposed to do, Mr. Speaker, he won't do such a thing. So, Mr. Speaker, this bill must also look at it carefully and not just think that because you need to have certain positions filled, anybody at all should be there. Mr. Speaker, I shall conclude by saying that this bill does not worsen it. Mr. Speaker, the bill
preserves the old problematic architecture without substantive reform, carrying over existing appointment and practices. For these reasons, Mr. Speaker, I believe that though the committee has done a good work at consideration, there will be the need for the minister to sit with us as a house, do further winnowing, and incorporate the major concerns raised by the minority on this floor, so that, Mr. Speaker, in the end, we would have a bill that is citizenry friendly, a bill that ensures transparency, a bill that allows Parliament to scrutinize and properly oversight the work of the security architecture of our country. Mr. Speaker, that said, I shall resume my seat without more. Thank you.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Right Honourable Speaker, you know, in private practice, the way that you get to increase your fees is to speak copiously in court, even if you say nothing. Just speak copiously in court. Because after the clients, when they finish, they say, my lawyer spoke the way my lawyer cannot. Did you see the way my lawyer was talking? The other lawyers in the courtroom know that he said nothing. And I'm saying this because I have listened to all that my friends on the other side have said, and I cannot hear anything. I cannot hear anything. And the reason why I say I cannot hear anything is simple. We all know that under the NPP, in 2020, you brought a bill to this house, ostensibly to revise the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act, the existing law then. Mr. Speaker, in the process, you enacted an office, which is the Office of the Minister for National Security. And you enacted the office and therefore impliedly made it a permanent existence. Mr. Speaker, even the Constitution shies away from enacting ministerial portfolios. Apart from the Attorney General, no minister is enacted by legislation. Ministries are created by executive instruments, and then that necessitates the appointment of a minister to be responsible for that ministry. Mr. Speaker, by enacting the office of a Minister of National Security, you are tying the hands of every president so that he must appoint a Minister for National Security. Mr. Speaker, in the process, you had unwieldy size of government. How many ministers did they have? 125 ministers.
Look at the view.
125 ministers and deputy ministers. For a small country like this, when a country like Australia, with a bigger economy, has just about 30 ministers. Mr. Speaker, the NDC promised that when we come to office, we will downsize. We will cut down the number of ministers. So when we came into office, we indeed cut down the number of ministers. The decision to amend this. And among the ministries that we decided to guillotine was the Minister for National Security. And then the issue arose in this chamber. The Right Honourable Speaker
Alban Sumana Bagwin raised it in this chamber that there is a legal problem. There is an act that enacts the office of National Security Minister. So we cannot appoint ministers and there will be no Minister for National Security. So the fundamental thing about this bill is to revise the existing legislation and take out the imposition of a Minister for National Security.
Under President.
That is the fundamental objective of this bill. Take the bill and go through it properly, and you will see that all that the bill is seeking to do is to abolish the office of Minister for National Security and the functions assigned to the Minister for National Security and the establishment of the Inter-Ministerial Council for National Security. Because all these three main items, they're not. Mr. Speaker, so that's the idea that we are pursuing, which is taking out the office of Minister for National Security. Mr. Speaker, if we do that, we will essentially be reverting to the legislation that existed before Act 1030 was enacted. That is the fundamental objective. Of course, in the process, advantage has been taken of the proposal before this House to also add a few things, revise a few things, based on the experience that we have obtained working these two legislations. So, Mr. Speaker, I am surprised that the impression is created that there's something wrong being done, and then we don't know what we're about, and the bill is inadequate, and there's nothing wrong. There's everything wrong with enacting an office of National Security Minister. We have a Minister for Health. It is not enacted. We have a Minister for Education. It is not enacted. We have a Minister for Roads and Transport. It is not enacted. Those ministers are not enacted. It's the ministries that are enacted. And it is the agencies under the ministry that are enacted. So you have highways, you have urban roads, you have all these agencies, Ghana Health Service, you have Ghana Education Service, you have all of them agencies under the ministries enacted. But the ministry itself is simply created by an executive instrument because presidents can decide to realign and change it. They don't need to come to Parliament to realign. But what you did here is to force the hand of a president so that he must appoint a Minister for National Security. It was a wrong thing for us to have done as a Parliament.
But they did it.
Well, we're all in the Parliament. They proposed it, but we're here and we voted. So I'm saying that it was a wrong thing for us to have done. And this historical wrong has to be corrected. And that's what we are doing today. We are correcting the wrongs of the NPP government. We are cutting down the number of ministers. We don't believe in large-sized governments. Large-sized government wastes public money. The taxpayer must get value for money. That is the object of this bill. Nothing more. Mr. Speaker, the issue of Director General of Intelligence, as indicated by Honorable Kabiru, I try very much to understand where he was coming from and where he was going. But I know that all the acts, all that the bill seeks to do is to just redesignate it as Director General for Internal Security and Director General for External Security. And Internal Security is the BNI, and then the External Security is Research Department, and they already have directors. They have directors. If you just redesignate the titles to fit what modern nomenclature is, I don't see anything fundamental about that. Why we should be splitting hairs about just redesignating titles of offices that already exist. We are not creating the offices. Mr. Speaker, when you go to the issue of coordinator, yes, Coordinators have existed from the beginning as a matter of practice. Then when the first legislation was being passed to govern national security, it was enacted. All subsequent legislation have kept the the coordinator of national security. Functions basically the same. Now, you cannot say that we are creating a coordinator who is politically unaccountable. That is obviously not true. We know the normal accountability mechanisms under our Constitution. First and foremost, we can hold the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act through the process of budgeting for them. Their budget is approved by this House. They bring the budget document proposals here, we approve it. Every money they spend, we approve it. And the committee can always invite the minister responsible for national security to come and answer questions. And the honorable minister kept repeating that. He's been coming here to answer questions. Beyond that, he's been appearing before the Committee of Parliament to provide briefings on security matters anytime that he has been invited. Nothing is going to be sacrificed when it comes to political accountability of the security and intelligence agencies. So I don't know where the argument is coming from, that we are about to compromise the human rights of citizens, that they will no longer be politically accountable. Under what arrangement? Because the existing arrangement clearly in the last 1 year and 2 months have worked in such a way that no political accountability has been compromised. So I think that that argument also falls flat on its face. The argument about the warrants and freezing powers and etc., they've always existed. In your own legislation which we passed in this House, Act 1030, there were the same provisions. Nothing really fundamental, except a proposal that sometimes by the time you go and apply for a warrant to freeze an account, it takes a second to move the money from that account. It takes seconds to move the money from that account. It just takes the click of a button. Because everything is electronic. Somebody can actually just use his or her cell phone and transfer and wire all his or her money. That's where banking has reached now. So when a security intelligence agency is interrogating a suspect and begins to suspect that they have monies in an account, by the time they go to the court and apply for a warrant and apply for a freezing authority, the account is drained. Money is transferred. And so there is a suggestion that be able to authorize such actions and then within a week go to court for court to confirm it or to set it aside.
It's in the West, the same provisions in the West.
We have the same thing in the Office of Special Prosecutors Act. So why grant the Office of Special Prosecutor those powers and deny the other intelligence agencies who are also doing investigation to enable prosecution, deny them the same powers? So there's no real threat or danger. As for chasing pickups and etc., we didn't start chasing pickups today.
Yes.
I know colleagues on this side who are ministers of state who were stopped in public and their cars seized from them.
Yes.
It happened.
Under his leadership.
I'm not saying that it is right. I'm not saying that it should be allowed to happen or that it should continue. But my argument is simple. How does that bear on the provisions of this bill? There's no bearing. If you want to complain about your pickup being seized, please complain. But don't use this, second reading as an opportunity to complain about your pickup that was stopped. Why didn't you report to the police? Why are you reporting to us in Parliament? Mr. Speaker, let me thank colleagues for a very spirited debate, but just to indicate that we bring this bill out of necessity. We want to remove all the provisions compelling the establishment of the office of the Minister for National Security, and then maintain what has always existed, which is the President to designate a minister to serve as the minister to exercise oversight over the security and intelligence agencies, and then through that person, this Parliament can hold that whole sector accountable. Mr. Speaker, I think that this is commendable. The report effectively captures the issues. They've considered many things that have been debated. The issue of members of Parliament being on district and municipal security committees were considered. I'm a member of the committee, the minority leader is a member of the committee, and very strong arguments were made why we should not have members of Parliament sitting in the district and municipal security council. People have different views about that, but I think that as a committee, from what I see in the report, the conclusion is not to encourage a thing like that. Mr. Speaker, on that note, I want to thank the Minister for moving the motion and the Chairperson for seconding and presenting the report, and urge members to vote adopting this report. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
An act to provide for matters relating to the National Security Council, to establish the regional security councils, the district security councils, to specify some of the state agencies responsible for coordinating and implementing government policies on the security of the state and attendant issues on or relating to the internal and external security of Ghana, and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, is duly read the second time. Yes. Do we move the consequential motion number 25 and bring it to a consideration stage?
Speaker, I believe that we'll do that tomorrow, but we want to take motion number
No, the consideration
21.
stage before I refer it to winnowing.
We'll do motion number 21. Yeah. Speaker.
Motion numbered 25. Minister for Interior. $25.
25. Oh, Chief Whip, Minority Leader.
Well, honourable members, the decision is to refer the bill to winnowing committee at consideration stage. Without moving the procedural motion, we can get to consideration stage where I will refer the bill to winnowing committee. That is the essence of it.
Speaker, with respect, I just need clarity. The applicant prayed the chair for motion 21. That was the application. That's why I want clarification. He said we should move to motion 21. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to be guided.
Mr. Speaker, indeed, yes, I pray, Speaker, that we take motion number 21. But the decision is that the bill will have to be referred to the winnowing committee. And so, motion number 25, in accordance with our rules. So motion number 25 will have to be moved. So, Speaker can give the direction referring the bill to the winnowing committee for consideration and reports.
Yes.
Speaker, with respect, I want to be on the same page with the Majority Chief Whip. His application was to the effect that we should take motion 21. And now he has changed his mind and he says that we need to do motion 25, and the motion 25, I do not see the rule upon which he mounts that motion 25. He says that there's a motion 25, and he's mounting his application on some rules of this House. Mr. Speaker, it is important for the Majority Chief Whip to specifically refer to the order in the rules book upon which he mounts his application. We are interested.
Honourable members, with all due respect, if you look at Standing Order 1681, and if I may read, winnowing, that's the head note, where a bill has been read a second time and substantial amendments have been proposed and published on the order paper, the Speaker may refer the proposed amendment for winnowing. And by the order paper, we have a substantial amendment. That is the reason for which I want to refer the bill to winnowing. Yes?
Speaker, I don't have a problem. Mr. Speaker, I don't have a problem with that. I have seen the 25, and I believe that this winnowing must be done because I have some amendments myself that I would want to discuss it at winnowing. But the issue here is the applicant said motion 21, and the impression he created was that motion 21 had a relationship with motion 25. That was the impression I got. That is why I asked that he should clarify. He should clarify.
Speaker.
Yes. Majority Chief Whip.
In all humility, it does appear to me that the minority leader was not paying attention. Because when I prayed you for motion number 21 to be taken, the decision for motion number 25 to be taken was from the chair. So my duty was to be guided. My duty was to be guided. So I had no obligation to mount that application based on the rules. In any case, in invoking Order 168 was not necessary. Speaker has already given a direction. So we ought to follow. So if you had paid full attention, you would have realized that the arguments we were making was a journey to nowhere. Speaker has already directed that as a result of the decision that we were referring the bill as it is to the winnowing committee, motion number 25 will have to be moved. And so would it be. So it was absolutely not necessary for you to take the path that you are taking. With all due respect, my leader.
Speaker, the Majority Chief Whip knows that I am a senior in this chamber. So even if he disagrees with me, Mr. Speaker, as you normally entreat us, he should find an amicable way of dealing with such disagreement. But if he says that I wasn't paying attention to the now let it be for the records. Mr. Speaker, you see, sometimes when I disagree with you and you draw my attention that there's a better way, we do the right thing and we reconcile. He is our junior. You and I came into this chamber before he came. So you don't disagree with your senior, then you say he didn't pay attention. There are ways of managing your seniors in this house. Mr. Speaker, especially when now he's left alone. His boss has left him, and if he doesn't get the appropriate cooperation, he knows how difficult life would be. So, Mr. Speaker, he's advised.
You can see me for your guidance. You say you need my guidance, and I say you can see me for your guidance. So I will call on the minister to move the motion number 25.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that notwithstanding the provision of Order 1691 of the Standing Orders, which requires that when a bill has been read a second time, the bill shall pass through a consideration stage, which shall not be taken until at least 2 sitting days have elapsed. The consideration stage of the Security and Intelligence Agency Bill 2025 may be taken today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, motion move. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Honourable members, motion move and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. This is a procedural motion. I will put a question. As many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Accordingly, the Security and Intelligence Agencies members, in view of the volume of the amendment by the order paper, I intend to refer the bill to Winner-Win Committee. And the bill is so referred to the Winner-Win Committee. Honorable members who have proposed amendment to the bill should endeavor to appear before the Winner-Win Committee and make their inputs agree and disagree to any possible integrated into the bill and brought to this House for. Can we then move to, yes?
Speaker, I rise to seek your guide regarding the time frame, if the Winner-Win Committee may be directed to return in say.
Well, that depends on the chairman of the Winner-Win Committee as well as the minister who is shepherding the bill.
Speaker, because the problems we have now is that we have a lot of referrals because we don't have time frame for the committees to work and return with.
Well, so long as I am concerned.
Very well.
There is no bill before the Winner-Win Committee apart from this referral.
Great.
So subject to the availability of the minister and the chairman, they can even start Winner-Win tomorrow.
Thank
you know the
Speaker.
proposals of the amendment.
Okay.
So the Winner-Win Committee should do well to invite them to come and justify their proposal.
Mr. Speaker, I think that Mr. Speaker, I think there were two legs to my thing. You have addressed one of them because I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that some of the amendments may be spontaneous because of the debate, but you have addressed that. Because if there is a debate and there's a consensus in the House, the amendment may not have been sent to them. A lot of the items that we see that was brought in the explanatory memorandum, we have completely departed from it. So I don't know whether the minister is looking at it from that angle as well. Completely. You know, when you bring a bill, you see, when you bring, so I'm just drawing the attention of the speaker.
We have passed the stage of the second reading. So having passed the stage of the second reading, the bill is now at consideration stage. whatever proposal that you have to the bill, do so as part of the bill.
I fully understand. That's why if we hadn't put private, he was going to raise that matter. And it's a serious.
Well,
Mr. Speaker,
if what you are going to raise is a matter that has gone into second consideration or has gone into the bill, then I'm not ready to take it. Because we can open a debate for second reading.
No, Mr. Speaker, what I seek to bring to your attention is the fact that from the minister's own submissions he made in respect of the policy direction accompanying this bill or underpinning this bill, it's a complete departure from...
Honorable member, we have already debated second reading, so kindly resume your seat. Please resume your seat. Kindly resume your seats. Honorable members, the chair should not be taken for granted. Honorable members, it is not always the case that we should be taking liberty for license. How long
Mr. Speaker,
do we debate a second reading of a bill?
Mr. Speaker, to lead us.
Yes, minority leader.
Speaker, there is a reason why you are called father, and you are. Mr. Speaker, please bear with us. You know, in this chamber, you specialize in the rules. When you came in 2013, your main work in this chamber, you are known for your industry when it comes to the rules. So, Mr. Speaker, the extent of knowledge and understanding you have when it comes to the rules, Mr. Speaker, at the risk of saying it is unmatched, I must say that not many people may have that. So sometimes when these things come up, it is not to undermine you or to upset prophecy. I know that prophecy will come to pass someday. You know, let it be that when that day comes, all your children will say, Father, oh Father. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg of you. Our colleague had come to me earlier to raise the issue, and I said that he should seek your guidance. But perhaps he meant to have and raise that technical concern. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it's more about the approach. But you also know that, Mr. Speaker, sometimes in equity, form gives way to substance. Form gives way to substance. So he's sorry. Reverend will never, Mr. Speaker, Reverend will never disrespect you. He will never do that. So please, Mr. Speaker, let's
I don't know how the chamber was created. When you are sitting here and people speak, you hear a bill, a second me outside, you would have taken a cue. And I even went further to say that if what you are going to raise is a matter that ought to have been considered a second reading, then I don't urge you to raise it. Where on earth, in which democracy, will you pass through a second reading stage of a bill, yet there will be a guidance seeking the right thing, and let's take a cue where we are supposed to take a cue. Let me hear you.
It's our duty. The minority leader is called to order sometimes. The majority leader sometimes also called to order. I'm worried that we must call attention to it. This is not the first time. The Honorable Tim Fojo couldn't have left the chamber throwing his arm towards the speaker and walking out. He cannot do that. This is not the first time. He cannot do that. The cameras will bear us out. He can't be leaving the chamber and throw his left arm at the speaker. The speaker presiding is the speaker presiding. He left the chamber and came back to gather his books. It's unacceptable. It's a disorderly conduct. And we must call him to order. It's not the first time. It's not right.
Honorable
It is not
Majority
right.
Chief Whip.
So I will leave it here.
Yes, Honorable Majority Chief Whip.
It's improper.
Honorable Majority Chief
Mr.
Whip.
Speaker.
It's been said that to err is human.
Mr. Speaker,
to forgive is go, and then we make.
We pray that we call motion number 21, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker has pronounced on the matter.
Yes, indeed, that he's made a general pronouncement to end the matter. But, Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. My colleague did not leave the chamber throwing up his hands in disrespect.
Honorable Minority Leader, let's end it here.
Mr. Speaker, let me finish. You spoke it. Mr. Speaker.
So, honourable members,
Mr. Speaker,
let this bring us to the end of the consideration stage so that they can till the meat. For now, we come to the end of consideration stage of the Security and Intelligence Bill.
The chief whip of the majority caucus is moving this house to consider the motion number 21. I must draw his attention to the absence of the Attorney General as well as his deputy. This is a new legislation that deals with professional legal education. Mr. Speaker, the minister or his deputy should be here. I would therefore humbly pray that we suspend proceedings we had agreed upon at conclave and deal with them whilst he makes the effort to call either the Attorney General or his able deputy to come in here. Because, Mr. Speaker, he must give direction when it comes to the principles and the policy rationale. We all know that the practice has always been that when such bills are being considered, the sector minister, and for that matter in parliamentary language, the sponsor of the bill, must be present to guide, to lead, and to be part.
First of all, there's no requirement that at consideration on the bill, in the absence of the minister or sponsors of the bill, the main sponsor, a deputy minister, is often admitted to participate in the consideration. I would have agreed with him if we were debating the principles, but we have moved long past that. In any case, Mr. Speaker, I have reached out to the minister, the Honorable Attorney General. He's indicated that he will join us in no time. Yesterday we did it. He joined us sometime and left, and we continue to let us proceed. Are ready. The committee members are here. Members of the House are also here. Both sides, we are ready to do this. So, Speaker, I want to urge the minority leader.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, according to the majority chief whip, there is no such requirement for a sponsor of a bill to lead the enactment process. Again, he argues that there is no such requirement for the sponsor of a bill to be part of the consideration stage, and that the absence thereto is inconsequential of such a bad precedent. And this side of the house won't be part of such precedents. Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have a sector minister. This is not a bill that is coming for a mere amendment of 2 or 3 clauses. It is a new bill introducing a new concept for professional legal education and all that the majority. Read the rules when the bill is introduced. Mr. Speaker, if you read the provisions in our standing orders, right from the start of the bill being introduced, the name of the sponsor shall, who is the sponsor? There is no need to repeat the sponsor at the consideration stage, because by parity of reason, he must be here. And Mr. Speaker, there is no rush. If he himself says he has called him, he should tell us where the minister is. If you'll be able to come, we should know. It is past 6. We have other business. I think I've seen my colleagues in the Energy Committee. They told me that they have a motion. The report was distributed yesterday or so. If you are ready, we can look at it whilst waiting for the Attorney General. Mr. Speaker, the Attorney General must find time for Parliament, especially when this bill is his bill.
As a place of record, that as in minority, I have ever shepherded a bill by moving amendment as a minority member without the presence of the minister and the chairman of the committee. So this is not the first time a bill will be considered when the sponsor or the minister is not at the chamber. But the record will bear me out that again, we have shepherded a bill throughout the consideration stage without a minister, and when we got to the 3rd reading, the minister indicated that owing to the volume of amendment to the bill, she is not coming to move the 3rd reading of the bill. But this House agreed with the then majority leader that he should go ahead and move the motion for the 3rd reading of the bill. That has been done. So for me, it will be very novel to say that because the minister is not at the chamber, Parliament sees with the jurisdiction to do consideration of the bill, will not do the consideration of the bill. So that parliamentary work regarding passage of law should be at the behest of the minister. When the minister decides not to come, then it means that the work of Parliament must stall. So with all due respect, by practice, we are masters of our own rules. So I have seen it happen severally in this House. And myself, it's a test case. Moving an amendment as a ranking member in the absence of the chairman, the vice chairman of the committee. And the passage of law, I did that because passage of law have no respect for a political party. The law governs the entire nation. If this bill is not passed timeously, in the academic year, our children will have to go through the process of writing examination in order to enter the law school, backlog of cases. But this bill is providing a mechanism that you go to do it and you write the bar exams. So it is in the interest of the public to do this, but not to tie it down to a minister.
Speaker, if I may assist the House further. Speaker, Order 169, Rule 1 is to this effect, with your leave. When a bill has been read a second time, the bill shall pass through a consideration stage in the House, which shall ordinarily not be taken until at least 2 sitting days have elapsed. Speaker, Rule 3 of Order 169 is to this effect. At the consideration stage, A, the maid shall stand tilted before the table, and a member may speak more than once to any question proposed. B, a member may sit at any seat convenient for the purpose of participating in the consideration stage. C, the House may effect such amendments as the House considers necessary, except that the amendments including new clauses and new schedules shall comply with the following. I, the amendment must be relevant to the subject matter of the clause to which the amendment relates. II, the amendment must not be inconsistent with any clause already agreed to or any decision already taken by the House. And III, the amendment, if not intelligible without a subsequent amendment, notice of the subsequent amendment will be taken. So, Mr. Speaker, there's no requirement. It's just by practice. So for the minority leader to insist that until the second minister is here, business cannot be conducted at consideration stage, is actually in breach of the law, of our procedure. He must desist from his insistence, because his insistence is not borne out by the rules.
No, he is not insisting. He is amenable.
Mr. Speaker,
leader, you are amenable.
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided.
Mr. Speaker, you put it right, and I appreciate that. Mr. Speaker, but let the records reflect this, that if indeed this bill has any urgency, then it is expected that the Attorney General must give it attention by being in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, it is not as if the argument is that in the absence of the Attorney General, Parliament cannot do its work. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the Attorney General, being the sponsor of the bill, must be here to shepherd the process. Mr. Speaker, he is the sponsor, and he knows the urgency of it. If our school children need to write entrance exam and they have to go to a law school and all that, he knows this. He has to be here to see to the quorum and all. He has to be here to guide the process, enrich knowledge, and appreciate industry. He's not here. So, Mr. Speaker, it would also be a bad practice to say that at the consideration stage, the law does not specifically mention sponsor. But what the majority chief whip conveniently forgot, and emphasis conveniently forgot, is that in reading a piece of legislation, you don't read them in isolation, disintegrate the law, and give meanings of convenience to the law. The purposive approach to interpretation, as taught us, did not say that read the law in isolation. Mr. Speaker, he and I passed our exam. We passed the exam. We were called to the bar. We were taught how to interpret how to read the law. Mr. Speaker, if you go to Order 160, Order 160 makes reference to a sponsor. Mr. Speaker, it deals with bills. It talks about the process of introducing the bill and makes reference to sponsor. Once that has been introduced, there is no need to again mention it in 169 because there's a fundamental position that has already been taken. Mentioning a sponsor at 160 is fundamental. Mr. Speaker, if the chief whip wants to litigate, there will be litigation. But if you would follow the path that you have introduced, we will make progress. Go and bring your Attorney General.
Honorable Minority Leader, I beg to differ. Whatever we do is recorded by the Hansard. And for you and I, with our position, we need to adhere to the law. Order 160 that we refer to reads, a sponsor may submit a bill to Parliament without publication in the Gazette. Till a bill is introduced in Parliament, it's not the business of the House. So it's the business of that sponsor. But as soon as the bill is introduced in Parliament, then Parliament is now seized with the jurisdiction to deal with the bill. So before the introduction of the bill, the rules could not refer to any other person but the sponsor. So rightly, in Order 160, the use of the sponsor is right. But that does not suggest that after the introduction of the bill, particularly at consideration stage, the sponsor must be present at the time that the bill is being considered. So I ask myself, in the 8th Parliament, what happened before I was moving amendment to pass laws in the interest of Mother Ghana, in the absence of the ministers, the chairman, the vice chairman of the committee. So it's the same law that we are making in the interest of Mother Ghana. So with the same spirit, the amendments.
Mr. Speaker, you are right that at the consideration stage, there is no mention of the sponsor. But Mr. Speaker, what I did was to invoke the rule of prudence. That I invoke the rule of prudence. Prudence. Mr. Speaker, it's one of the rules in equity. It's part of, Mr. Speaker, it's one of the rules of equity. And you invoke them in a parliamentary jurisprudence, the nature of which we find ourselves, to argue that it will be prudent to have the Attorney General in the chamber to guide, Mr. Speaker, procedure. So I agree that though procedurally there is no such provision, I agree, and I'm not going to contest that when my very learned senior, the first deputy speaker, has made that clear. I'm not going to contest that. However, some other I submit that to the extent that we can argue prudence, the non-availability of express provision can be overreached by invoking prudence, because it is the Attorney General, it is the Attorney General's responsibility to be in this chamber Mr. Speaker, the Attorney General has a duty bona fide to be in this chamber in respect of this bill. The Chief Whip himself says that the Attorney General was called his conference or doing something somewhere, we don't know.
Honorable Minority Leader,
Mr. Speaker,
look at the argument in line with, but not in any minister. Yes, 93(2), I can read. Subject to the provisions of this constitution, the legislative power of Ghana shall be vested in Parliament and shall be exercised in accordance with this constitution. It never vested the legislative power in any minister, but it is vested in Parliament, and this is Parliament to do consideration of a bill. So no jurisprudence can oust to make law at the instance of any minister. It would have been a very bad precedent. So, honourable members, the legal education, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I will plead with you. Mr. Speaker, I will plead with you. It's for a good.
Those want to engage, let's engage.